And boom, yes, it's our ugly mugs. And Natai, your fucking thing fucked up. Why? And John isn't even there. God, I love doing
What?
live streams.
How did I? How is
Did
it
you
my
fuck
fault by
everything
fucked up
up?
thing fuck?
I don't know, but I just want everyone to know before I actually do the intro here. We discovered that Discord has a new feature. Can you tell?
Can you tell we're child?
Can
we're
you
children?
tell that we're very easily amused? And we all have a theme of characters staring at us. I think I gotta go. I
we're
gotta be
grown
honest.
adults.
I gotta be honest though, Natai. Yours looks the best.
How dare you?
Don't you want Speedwagon to just pick you over from the crack of your door while you're doing your thing?
Well,
It's my favorite.
maybe.
Commentating my life.
Maybe. But hello, everyone, and welcome to Anime Club After Dark, the podcast that delves into all things anime, manga, and otaku culture related. I can barely get this fucking shit out. I'm your host, Alex.
Motherfucker.
I'm your host, Alex, but you can call me Senpai. And joining me tonight, you can see I have our poster extraordinaire, Natai, and our czar of source material, John.
Oh, wait.
Why? Why would you do this? Why would you do this?
Wow.
I'd steal another YouTuber's intro.
Yeah. Bless Jack though.
You say Jack. That volume level reminded me of Ray William Johnson. If you remember that.
Yeah.
Equals 3, dude.
Equals 3. I don't know
Yeah.
why I was reminded equals 3. Yeah.
Yo, yes, welcome into the stream. So we are going to be doing our 26th episode of our WTF series, where we talk about whatever we want to talk about, whether it's anime related or not. I gotta bring the actual doc up. So the first thing we're going to do is get into some questions from our Discord server, which if you are not on our Discord server, there is a link down below. It is, however, 18 plus, so all we ask is that you are at least 18 years of age if you join.
Give the people what they want, Alex. Where's the fucking simp report?
Oh, it's coming after the questions. The simp report will be coming soon. Copyright infringement. Listen, Shinobu is for everybody. But no.
Her face says otherwise.
Well, you and I just got through reviewing the the horniest part of second season.
No comments.
But no, let's get into our Discord questions. The first one we have is from Classy Ulysses. He actually asked this right before we did our last WTF. I just didn't have time to add it to the doc for this. But it is his question is: since we are getting so many anime adaptations every season, what do you guys miss from old anime that newer anime don't do?
Oh,
Hand-drawn animation? What?
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna say.
I miss
Have
my
you
2D
listened to
horses.
the podcast?
Yeah,
I miss my 2D horses.
2D
I
horses.
missed when everything was 2D and not fucking 3D CGI.
Yeah, I do miss that too. I do think that there is a too heavy of a reliance on CG these days in modern anime. Yeah. Also, my headphones keep disappearing. It's because they're red. I don't know. For some reason, this feature on Discord does not like the color red.
And also
So for
doesn't
long-
like my fucking coats in the background.
Yeah. Well, I had to move my bed sheet because it's blue and it kept picking that up too. How's it
Oh,
going?
now
It's
you're
going
making
great.
Me look like a fucking unprofessional. Now I should probably take down my coat. Thanks a lot, Alex.
Yeah.
Me
Oh,
fucking have to
nice.
do work. Come on, man.
I think we're all in agreement there. Like the biggest thing we miss from older anime is like 2D hand drawn animation.
I'll tell you what. Also, I used to I don't know if it's relevant anymore, but I really used to miss a lot of having complete
Oh, man, now
adaptations.
the orange.
It is. It's
But-
like busting through down there.
I've made
What
it
is that?
worse.
Yeah.
Is
What
that
is
your
that
code?
orange thing down there?
Oh, that's my hunter safety orange.
Oh, your safety vest.
Why is it orange?
Because
So
it's a
that
high
way-
visibility vest.
It's not really.
Oh,
as
so
much
you
as-
wouldn't get her. Gotcha.
So he doesn't get Dick Cheney'd.
It's not gonna stop you from getting Dick Cheney'd.
Nothing can stop us from getting dicked. Anyway,
Whoa, okay.
uh,
Whoa, sir. Whoa. This
So,
is this is YouTube. Calm yourself down, sir.
you calm down. Yeah, complete adaptations. But recently we've been getting a lot more announcements of continuations of dead shows, which
Yeah.
is really cool. So
Or
I don't know
just
if it's relevant anymore.
or just anime that from the outset they say, yeah, our intention is to completely adapt this, like with the Mushoku Tensei. They have said that
Yeah,
their intention is to completely adapt the entire source material.
which is cool because you know it's a shame getting like a 12 episode show which is really good and really enjoyable, and you're like, oh, and that's it.
Yeah,
And
bye. It ends on a
and
cliffhanger. Bye.
and only in the past like 2 years it feels like we're getting continuations of these dead shows. Like which one was it that really shocked me? Like Devil is a Part-Timer is getting a second
Yeah.
season, like out of nowhere. It's like that's cool. So maybe we're getting more stuff. That's cool.
I don't think anyone expected that announcement with Devil's a
Nah.
Part-Timer getting a second season. It gives me hope that one day we'll get that elusive anime white whale a second season of No Game No Life.
Never.
Freaking doubt it, dude.
Yeah, it's never happening.
It is anime's white whale though.
Listen, the
No,
the sales of the novel have just never dipped low enough for it to need a second season. You
That's
know?
true. That's true. It has recently come back from a hiatus though, so maybe that gives it some hope. I don't know. Maybe I'm just being naive and just really want a second season of the anime.
You know what is the true white whale of anime? A good Berserk adaptation.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's what I miss about old anime. Fucking 2D Berserk animation.
Man, if we could go back in time, go to like whoever was responsible for that, like OLM, go do another season of Berserk, please. That would be nice. Please.
Still waiting for Yamada-kun and the Seven Witches season 2. I have never seen it, but people told me that the first season is actually pretty decent.
Looks cute.
All right, next question comes from New Vegas Savior. What anime, manga, light novels, etc. do you think would be perfect for other media like live-action TV, movies, or video games?
Rakugo Shinju should be a live-action show.
I completely agree. I think Rakugo Shinju would make a great live-action adaptation.
Give this to like I want like I try to think of
Martin Scorsese.
maybe
Martin Scorsese.
No, like
Yeah.
actually, you know what? Actually,
I think Martin Scorsese could actually do a really good Rakugo Shinju adaptation.
it'd be such a flex for him too. It's like, okay, I'm gonna direct the shit out of this scene about this guy just performing multiple characters. Like, yeah, I'd watch that actually.
Yeah, I would 100% watch it if Martin Scorsese would direct it. So for things like anime, manga, light novels, I think if you're gonna go for like a live action adaptation, if you're gonna do it successfully, you need to pick something that's somewhat grounded. Like if you're gonna go with a high fantasy thing that has a lot of fight scenes and whatnot, you're gonna disappoint a lot of people. But if you pick something that's grounded in mostly reality, I think that can actually work in live action. Good example. I think a live action Violet Evergarden could 100% work because it's so grounded in reality. Same thing with something like March Comes In Like a Lion. I think
they're very story heavy and story driven.
Mm-hmm.
Like as long as because what is the biggest problem with anime? It's fucking anime. It's got anime physics.
It's weird.
It's got like
anime logic,
anime characters,
anime logic, anime physics. It's basically the only way you could recreate that in live action is to use shitty CG because it's gonna be super expensive otherwise, right? So quite obviously, like fucking Attack on Titan, for example, the live action movie there,
the two live action movies,
and the two was it two?
There was a sequel to the first one. Yeah,
there were two movies.
Lord. Yeah. How did it even make money the first time around? I don't understand. But
the name,
the name. To be honest, it's like it's too much production value. No one's actually gonna fucking like want to produce this movie.
Yeah,
it's gonna cost us like fucking $400 million. Like no one's fucking shooting a movie for $400 million.
You know what would be a pretty easy show to adapt into a live action, like Hollywood, like Western adaptation? Bakano. It literally takes place in like the States, and it's like gangster story.
Yes, or
like,
91 Days.
91 Days is also like a great example because like a lot of these shows, like so I say Rakugo Shinju because I'd love to see that, and March Comes In Like a Lion as well, but they're very much Japanese stories. Like, in that culture.
But the problem with Bakano is that there's a lot of like anime fight scenes in it. And if you want a really good production value on like the train fight scenes, for example, like the Red Eye, right? Like, it'd be really fucking like hard to recreate that without a huge budget.
Yeah,
I mean, like anime adaptations, at least in my opinion, never get a huge budget. Like they want to keep it under a certain amount. Yeah, I don't think
So,
I've
but
seen any of them for like over, I think, $10 million. Like no
you
one makes anime movies for more than that.
you're totally correct because you know what's the best like quote unquote anime adaptation there is. Like the fucking Matrix is basically Ghost in the Shell,
I
but
mean, kinda.
Western,
Yeah.
right?
I don't
and
know.
That movie, I mean, and that movie has like a big budget and just visionary directors. And for some reason, they don't do that anymore.
I would argue
For
it's not an
adaptations.
anime adaptation. It's actually a light novel, a Hollywood light novel adaptation. Or I think it's just a novel, not a light novel.
But it's very anime inspired. That's my point.
But
right?
no,
It's
yeah.
very.
But I would say that on the same vein, an actual adaptation of something from Japan that I thought was good was Edge of Tomorrow, because it's an adaptation of All You Need Is Kill.
And that movie also has like a big budget.
Has
like
fucking Tom Cruise.
That's the thing. Key point. Big budget.
Like, and it was never really marketed as a Hollywood or live action adaptation of a Japanese property.
They literally just was like, oh, we're gonna change All You Need Is Kill to Edge of Tomorrow. I didn't even know it was a fucking Japanese graphic novel, to be honest.
Is it a graphic? I thought it was a novel.
Yeah, it's supposed to be a graphic novel, I believe. Whatever the difference between a graphic novel and a manga is, I don't actually know. But I do remember we talk about Edge of Tomorrow a lot because that is one of them that I watch, and I love Edge of Tomorrow.
I thought it was great.
Like as far as action flicks go and stuff, I did not mind it. Tom Cruise, my opinions on him aside, did a great job being the main character.
Yeah,
it's like he played, action movie. It's Tom Cruise, man. Action movie. Come on. But
you might as well change his character's name to Tom.
Yeah,
really.
But yeah,
it's Chapter 1 and 2 is doing a live action Attack on Titan. What?
Yeah, I think there is actually going to be a Hollywood adaptation of Attack on Titan, and I do believe I have heard that too. That the director of the newest
for the longest time
is doing.
For the longest time, like there was like rumors of an Akira project that Christopher Nolan was attached to. Which
apparently, that's still a thing. Apparently, that's still a thing. It's just been stuck in development hell.
Akira would be too ambitious. How would you? It's gonna be CGI crap. Man.
It is.
That's
the ending will be for sure. I just don't know how you can do that whole thing with practical effects and make it look good.
What? Fucking wasn't like I haven't watched it. What is it? Pacific Rim an anime movie?
I mean, it has a lot of hallmarks of anime in it.
Well, didn't they just give like what's his name, Guillermo del Toro, just a shit ton of money? It's like, okay, I'm gonna make my mecha anime.
Yeah, it was like
people liked it, right?
Yeah,
kind of.
The first movie was good.
So the problem with Pacific Rim wasn't so much an anime adaptation as it was just like Guillermo del Toro's love letter to animation.
Yeah, right? To like kaiju and
mechas,
Gundam,
mechas and kaiju, and like it had. I was really hyped for Pac Rim. That's why I wanted to love it, but it has glaring obvious issues, like the fact that like every fucking kaiju movie, there's not enough kaiju action.
Yeah,
like most of it is fucking human drama, and that's what sells in Hollywood, right? That's the human drama aspect of all these movies, and I don't know why, because I go to a kaiju movie to watch fucking kaiju fight. So
it does seem like that's what kaiju has kind of devolved into, though. It's all about like the human element of it. It's not about the actual fighting between the kaiju anymore.
Who are these people they do these like focus tests on that they get these like fucking we need more human stories?
You think that Hollywood focus tests anything anymore?
I mean, yeah, that's the whole reason.
Schmucks off the street, like outside the studio. Hey, you kid, come here.
Come here.
You want to write a movie?
You're between the ages of 12 and 16, huh? You wanna come watch this movie?
I don't know what kind of accent that was, but it was great. Naruto directed by James Gunn? No, I'll pass. Thank you.
What's wrong with James Gunn?
I don't want to see Naruto directed by James Gunn. I don't want to see Naruto in live action. I just don't think it can work. One Piece directed by Zack Snyder. I think that could work. Although I do know that Netflix is doing a One Piece live action television show.
They released the casting not too long ago.
I will say, at least the cast has a passing resemblance to the characters. Gunsmith Cats. Okay, yeah, I did want to bring that up. Gunsmith Cats would be great in live action. Gunsmith Cats, however, is something I really would love to see an anime studio actually get the rights to and do again, but they have to do it hand-drawn, because that's the only way Gunsmith Cats can work. I don't want to see that fucking car chase scene through the streets of Chicago with the fucking CG cars. No.
You know 100% it's going to be CG if it's a live action remake. Come on, man.
Well, I mean, the live action, I think they could do pretty much with practical effects, because it's car chases and gunfights. But
no, they're gonna CGI it. Like, so the amount of money it costs to like practical that versus how much it costs to CGI it is astronomical. Like, you have to build a whole set. You might have to close a circuit. Like, they're gonna fucking green screen CGI it 100%, especially given like the length of the chase scene.
True. That chase scene goes on for a long time.
Which is probably why they're gonna do that. Like, that's
I do
the one
love
thing...
Gunsmith Cats, though.
Did you guys watch the Speed Racer?
Oh God,
that they released
yeah.
years ago? What was that like?
If you thought you had to be on drugs to watch the original Speed Racer,
I love the Family Guy skit.
Yeah.
What kind of drug would you take to make Speed Racer the anime any more enjoyable? Like,
I don't think speed, obviously.
I don't under.
No. I love the Family Guy skit they did on Speed Racer. It's like, Speedy, haha.
Let's see. I think that I read that one. And a robot. Wait, the director of it is also doing a Robotech movie. I did not hear that. Thor 3. The director of Thor 3 is directing the Akira live action movie. Okay,
Freaking Ulysses, High School DxD live action.
Yeah, High School DxD. Okay, that's just called porn, man. That's called porn.
Yeah, just go to the strip club, man.
Just go to a strip club. You'll see High School DxD in live action. The company did Pacific Rim Legendary Pictures is also doing a live action Gundam. I mean,
sure,
could work. I mean, it's good. It's a good studio to do it, obviously, if they did Pacific Rim. All right, next question, which we spent way too much time on this question.
Yeah, I know.
From Earl Grey, he always asks the most convoluted questions. So here we go. If you could choose to have any of the enhancing powers from any anime, for example, chakra manipulation, sage arts, NEN, or devil fruit powers, etc., which would it be and why? And I don't mean superpowers like quirks from MHA or anything like that.
Wait, Nen? Like from Hunter x Hunter?
I'm assuming I'm assuming that's what he means.
Yeah, it's like basically chakra, but
can I answer this question first? Because it may not be like a superpower of sorts. I just want to be as smart as L from Death Note, please. Can I just be that smart?
See, you're a fucking fool. Because what other superpower would be fucking better than the ability to guess what you're gonna say next? Dude, I totally get stand powers. Fuck that.
Stands, yeah.
A fucking stand arrow.
A stand arrow, yeah. Isn't that an amplification power though? But no, that's like wait, no, that's like an.
It depends, because some stand.
It depends on the stand.
Every stand works differently. I mean, there is no one universal stand.
Which type of stands are like amplification powers? That's actually that's a good question.
Like amplification and like how like it can amplify your strength or something?
Like I tried to go by the logic of the question. I don't know.
Naruto powers all the way. Vectors from Elfen Lied. Now that would be good because you could murder people from a distance and no one would ever see it coming. It leaves no evidence behind. I don't know. I mean, stands would be nice though. It just depends on what stand, because some people get shitty stands, like the sun.
It's literally the sun.
It's literally the sun, or
strength. It's the monkey,
Trick.
The boat. Cheap Trick is just rough.
Cheap Trick.
It's like, I guess I'll die then.
Its power. Its stand power is literally it kills the stand user. I'm die. Thank you forever.
I'm die.
Hey Ya from Part 7 is kind of a bullshit stand too.
It's called Hey Ya.
Yeah, there is a stand called Hey Ya.
Fucking hey ya.
That's great.
Its power is it literally encourages its stand user. It just shouts words of encouragement at you.
So there's this one.
You say that's a bad power up for a stand. However, in a real life application,
for a depressed person, it would be a great stand.
Having your own personal like cheerleader stand wouldn't be a terrible thing, in my opinion.
So in One Piece,
I'd always like to have a hype man. That's why. You always got a hype man in the background, like, oh shit, you can do it, bro! Fucking kill that! Oh shit! Like, oh yeah.
Fucking like Bruno Mars walking in with his posse. In One Piece, there's this one fruit, devil fruit power called the Kilo fruit, which allows you to change your weight around.
I thought for a second you said kill the kill fruit, and I'm like, wow, is that some copyright infringement or what? Trigger should be pissed.
Kilo.
Kilo
every fucking devil fruit needs to rhyme as the same.
It's like what's the fucking name of it? Pitapana? No, like the sounds.
Onomatopoeia.
Yeah, that onomatopoeia.
Yeah.
Every one of them is that. So this one just allows you to change your like weight or whatever.
Yeah.
So
my OC stand is just the portal gun with black holes, white holes, and wormholes. Is it called Black Hole Sun? Please tell me it's called Black Hole Sun.
Have you watched the fan like animated series they're doing for JoJo?
See, I've heard about it. I have heard about it, but I haven't seen it yet. No, is it good?
It's pretty nice. It's pretty nice. I like it.
If I ever get the chance to do that though, like I want to do like a JoJo's part that takes place after part 6, and like the whole ending of that.
Spoilers.
I'm not gonna spoil it. I'm just gonna say I would have the ending of part 6 be different and allow us to go forward in time from this universe, and I would make the main character the invisible baby from part 4.
So like the main character stand in this like what's the name of this like fan project, like Blood Sun Vendetta. So it's the stand name of his character is called Black Hole Sun. Which is pretty fucking good. Yeah.
Yes, either that or Muse. Muse is also a good name for that stand.
Muse.
Speaking of Muse, I hope that when we get to the anime adaptation of Part 7, they use a Muse song for the ED. I hope it's Knights of Sidonia, because I think it would be perfect.
A pretty hype song.
I think it would be perfect for Part 7.
What were your bets for the ED for Part 6? We have
like 2 days until we find out. I don't. Yeah, it's a couple of days until we find out. I'm still thinking it's going to be Clocks from Coldplay. That's what I think it's going to be.
That'll be pretty cool.
I'll probably be 100% wrong, but because I would never have guessed freaking you would be the ED for Part 5.
Every time I close my eyes.
All right, next question is from Parathis. He asked, the Unholy Trinity, if you could choose 3 main character villain protagonists as a top tier for villainy, who would it be and why? And also, why did you pick Lord Ainz?
First of all, Ainz is the supreme being. He is not evil. He's basically God. So
he's basically Jesus.
Basically Jesus.
He's God and Jesus all wrapped into one, to be honest. But yeah, see, I hate to say it. Well, no, Ainz is 100% evil, but I wouldn't say he's like a villain or a super villain. So like that's fucking that's like Light, you know, or like Dio, or like
Kira from Part 4.
Yeah,
Kira.
No, 100%. No, Dio,
Kira is an incredible villain. If we're going on the JoJo train, the boss from Part 5 is like a terrific villain.
Diavolo?
Yeah, Diavolo. I thought it was Diavolo.
I mean, however you want to pronounce it. In the English the English dub, they say Diavolo.
Who else did it? Like, I don't know if I can call him a villain.
Quite literally, my 3 top supervillains would be from JoJo's. Yeah.
Yeah, really.
Dio, Kira, and Diavolo. Like,
right.
It's pretty perfect. If we want to spread our horizons a bit, I don't know if he is a villain, but Askeladd is a pretty nasty dude.
Askeladd from Vinland Saga, yes.
Also,
Kaiki.
Yeah.
Kaiki from Monogatari.
I mean,
I don't think Kaiki's a villain.
He's not a villain. He's a businessman. He makes money.
He's an honest businessman.
He doesn't kick dogs just because, right? Or steal your girl's first kiss.
Or throw your dog into an incinerator.
Yeah, I think Kaiki, he may be a piece of shit, but
he's not a villain.
He's not necessarily a villain.
He's certainly an antagonist.
He's antagonistic, sure, but it's just like how I don't think Ainz is a villain.
Gotcha.
Do they do anything with the intention to they're actually just being huge pieces of shit. Ainz has an intention behind what he's doing, and most of his evilness is just I guess not being the good guy that everyone wants him to be, where he just oh no, we'll save everyone. He's like, no, fuck that, I don't care. Was that have nothing to do with Nazarick? Oh yeah, whatever, let them die.
Wait, so Chad is calling us out. The question was for main characters, though.
Yeah, well, Ainz is definitely a main character for sure.
So Kira, Light from Death Note, I think.
Yeah, Light from Death Note would definitely be in that. I mean, because I think while he is killing criminals, mostly, he's still kind of evil.
I mean, there's some really dark shit he pulls there in the show, just for spite.
Off the top of my head, if I actually just had to choose characters who were main characters that were villains to put in a top tier, I'd probably say Ainz, Light, and Askeladd. Because Askeladd is 100% a main character in
yeah, I mean,
Vinland
it's
Saga.
It's a few episodes into the show. It's oh, I guess this is the Askeladd show now.
It pretty much is. The main character switches from Thorfinn to Askeladd after episode 4.
Try to think of a good.
And I don't think anyone would argue that. I mean, while Askeladd isn't 100% evil, many of the things he does is pretty fucking evil.
Kind of fucked up.
He is kind of fucked up, man. He pillages and rapes and. It's not good.
Okay, but if we're gonna, then I don't know. Is Griffith a main character? I wouldn't say so.
Griffith did absolutely nothing wrong. He is not a villain. Fuck you.
Fuck you.
I'm gonna sacrifice you to the fucking god hand, dude. Fuck you.
Yeah. Yeah. Why not rape the love of his life? Yeah. She's fucking. Gee.
I don't know. That would be my answer if I had to just pick off the top of my head, though. Just of main character type villains.
I've only watched 2 episodes of Redo of Healer, but that main character is just despicable.
Okay.
Kiaru.
Yeah. Kiaru.
I don't even remember his name.
Okay, Yarguru. You got me there. You might have found someone more evil than Askeladd.
See, that's the problem though. He's conditionally evil. He doesn't he gets revenge on people who have wronged him or are terrible people. If you're an innocent person, then he won't do anything to you.
But look how much he went, how much he planned and put himself through just to fuck someone.
I mean,
literally.
Literally. I mean, and then go beyond. It's wow, dude. Okay. I get nothing.
That's actually not a bad
pick. That's
pick.
based on only 2 episodes, and I was like, okay.
Injustice Superman, there you go. That's not a bad pick. I guess he didn't even say this had to be from anime, so we could have literally picked anyone. We didn't even have to limit ourselves to anime.
An anime podcast, man.
But Injustice Superman is also a good choice.
Well, if we're going beyond anime, I mean, Frank Underwood from House of Cards is pretty good.
That's true. I mean, even the person that plays him is pretty fucking evil.
I know. Remember the video we posted?
Yeah, when he was in character and he was trying to apologize. Jesus Christ, man.
What the fuck was that?
Talk about being out of touch.
I don't know what Kevin Spacey is smoking, but fuck.
It's a shame about Kevin Spacey too, because he's actually a really good actor.
It's oh shit, all of these movies are now ruined because this pedophile is.
No, the best thing is some of the movies he's been in. Some of the lines he said have completely new context, like the movie Baby Driver, when he says, I was blown away by the balls on that kid. Yeah, you were, Kevin. Redo of Healer best anime of the year. I mean,
it will definitely be in the running this year.
Yeah, this year maybe. I know. Well, a couple years ago, we very nearly added, or was it earlier this? It was earlier this year. Our award show from earlier this year, we very nearly named Interspecies Reviewers as anime of the year for last year.
Interspecies Reviewers is genuinely a good show.
It is genuinely a really good show.
It's genuinely a good comedy.
All right, next question, which also comes from Classy Ulysses. The next couple of questions come from him. Do you think we get some repetitive anime from different genres? Yes, all isekai are almost entirely the same. The isekai genre.
That. Listen, sometimes you're a sword, sometimes you're a dragon, sometimes you're a refrigerator, sometimes you're a slime.
Sometimes you're a pair of panties.
Skeleton. Sometimes you're a pair of panties.
Sometimes your mom is there.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes your mom's there. Sometimes you reincarnate and your little sister follows you and tries to destroy all the women you're trying to sleep with. Yes.
So yeah, you're right. So isekai is all the same.
The day I saw the visual for In Another World with my smartphone, I was like, this genre is
dead.
It's done.
I say that, but no, like one of the shows that I loved the most about this year was Mushoku Tensei, and it's an isekai.
That's right.
But isn't that just a generally good show though?
It is. It's well done as well. Like
you know what else is an isekai? Slime Tensei.
I like that a lot too.
That's right. You don't get to pick and choose your isekai.
Truck-kun.
Truck-kun has got his work cut out for him.
Yeah. I mean, I think that is really the answer. That is probably the most repetitive genre in
You know what
anime.
else is 100% isekai? That's just because I feel like that's just the flavor of the month, right? Like isekai.
Flavor of like
the flavor of the month for like half a decade.
Okay.
No.
But I feel like I don't watch anime, so I can't really look at a list and be like,
lie as you breathe.
What's the last anime I watched?
Ghost in the Shell, because you had to watch it for our review.
Yeah, it would be Ghost in the Shell. Other than that, I haven't watched any anime.
Oh, Ghost in the Shell is
like last.
Ghost in the Shell.
But I feel like there's probably a different genre that's repetitive. I mean, shonen. Like, there's always 3 or 4 shonen shows.
It can be old school shonen, especially shonen from like the late 80s through like the early 2000s was really, really repetitive. They all had the underdog MC pretty much. They all had tournament arcs. They all were very long running.
Jujutsu Kaisen was pretty good though.
Jujutsu Kaisen was really good. I stopped short of calling that like an actual shonen though, because it's too violent to be an actual shonen.
What do you too violent?
There's people getting eviscerated.
You know JoJo is a shonen.
I know that, but it's also very old school shonen in the fact that people rarely die. They just get knocked out.
No, they get retired.
Retired.
It isn't until later that they just like straight up people.
It really wasn't until part 5 that people were just getting killed left, right, and center.
Unintended.
Jujutsu Kaisen is.
Yeah.
Anyway.
It's okay, as long as you're not a dog, you'll be safe.
Yeah.
No, right?
As long as you're not just a random small animal in the JoJo's universe, you're fine. Oh, you mean One Piece, Alex's favorite? Yeah, fuck off with One Piece. It's still going. It'll still be going when I'm 80 years old. It'll never die.
It's still good.
Okay, next question, which also comes from Classy Ulysses. Do you feel burned out from watching new anime, but watch some old anime because of the nostalgia and how good it was? Yes.
100% all the time. I do nothing but watch old anime at this point.
And pick up new shitty light novels.
Yeah, like novels and manga, I will just keep constantly adding to my fucking 500-page list. Like that's just who I am now. That's why I don't fucking like watch anime. I have to pick what I do with my time very carefully because I don't have enough fucking time to do anything anymore. Like if I want to watch YouTube videos, for example, like I gotta like, all right, if I watch YouTube videos, I can't play video games. Or I have to like procrastinate on work. Like, oh, I'm not gonna edit that episode of the podcast today. Oh, I don't think I'll be doing my homework today. Like, it sucks. It fucking sucks. Like right now, I'm multitasking because we're streaming, but I'm also playing Pokemon. Where's my? Oh,
I like how it makes you completely disappear when you do that.
Yeah.
Wow! Holy
Camouflage.
shit! You literally camouflage yourself with a switch. For anyone who ever thought that John could never hide behind a switch, you're wrong.
I mean, there are some pretty big network switches, you know, Alex.
Yeah,
I mean...
that is very true. Some network switches are huge.
My point is, unless I multitask and do shit like this, like if I feel like I'm in the mood for anime, like after watching the Bebop live action, I just want to go watch Bebop now.
That's true.
That's how I felt. Yeah.
3, 2, 1. Let's jam.
Cries.
Bang. But yeah, I think I definitely get burned out from time to time. It's funny because lately we've kind of been going back and reviewing and/or doing spoiler cast for older shows, and it hasn't given me as much time to delve into like multiple anime from each season. Like right now, I think I'm only watching 3 or 4. Well, no, I'm watching like 3 or 4 things from this season, and everything else is just going to be stuff that we're reviewing or doing spoiler cast for on our podcasts. And it's right now we're on a kick of doing older stuff.
Mm.
So I'm nostalgia baited, man. We're just old anime fans at this point. We're being nostalgia baited by all the better shows.
But Natai, like, correct me if I'm wrong. You and I are having a really good time doing the Monogatari spoiler casts.
It's just so good. It's insane to me. Like we've spent so many hours talking about this show, and it's still not enough. Somehow we still miss stuff.
I know.
And there's just so much to talk about. Like, it's insane to me that there's still the old Monogatari episode that we talked about it for an hour and a half or something like that for the entire show, which did it a major disservice because, as you can tell, we spent almost an hour talking about 4 episodes.
Yeah, John knows. John remembers.
I remember.
We're sorry, John.
If you guys ever did that ever again, I'll fucking fly over there and kick your ass.
Every time we finish a recording on Monogatari, like, we're sorry, John.
Yeah, well, it's funny because we did the Bakemonogatari one and we didn't even realize because Bakemonogatari was 15 episodes and we spent it was what, an hour and 45 minutes, Sean? Something like that, roughly an hour and 45 minutes. And the second he downloaded those files, he looked at him. He's like, he sent me a DM. What the actual fuck?
We had an agreement.
It's
We're
why it's
too close to the sun.
It's why we agreed to split our second season one up into 3 parts. Just simply
Can you imagine? Can you imagine?
It'd be a 3 hour. It'd be a 3 hour episode.
It'd be a 3 hours recording
easily. If we did
all I'm gonna start charging you guys how much I charge on Fiverr for my services. All right. Good luck affording me for $45 a minute.
Oh shit.
Oh man. But yeah, this season I'm pretty much watching Jobless Reincarnation and some old anime like Yu-Gi-Oh!, Orange, Naruto, and Black Lagoon. Those are all great choices, especially that's Black Lagoon.
That's the thing. People forget, like, they need to watch the new stuff. There's so many good shows to watch.
Yeah.
From, like, old shows.
And you know, I almost feel like some obligation to keep up with some of the more popular stuff each season, simply because we do an anime podcast, and it's like, if it's really big, I feel like we have some kind of obligation to talk about it. But I've gotten to the point where I'll pick out maybe 3 or 4 things that air each season. I'll give them a shot. If I like them, I'll keep going. If not, I'll drop them and watch old stuff or stuff that's been on my plan to watch list for a very long time.
Odd Taxi is pretty good. Just saying.
Everyone says that, and I have yet to see it. And
it's nice. I enjoyed it.
Release the WTF cut. Yeah.
Oh no.
All right, and then last question.
Listen to these episodes unedited, man.
No.
Yeah, no, you don't. Yeah, you don't want to listen to some of our podcast episodes unedited. Some of it's really bad. Some of it is just 10 minutes of John going to the bathroom and taking his shit.
Yeah, like, hey, you know what? Nature calls. I gotta go.
Which one were we doing? We were doing a movie review, and I can't remember. It wasn't Ghost in the Shell, was it?
No, it wasn't Ghost in the Shell.
It was whatever one we did before that. But like, we were 10
the
minutes.
One you and Natai did Angel's Egg, right?
Yeah.
Angel's
what was before that?
It's the one I missed, I think, before.
Oh,
that,
it was
right?
Akira.
Oh, no.
It was Akira.
Yeah, you did Akira.
We were doing Akira. We got 10 minutes in, and all of a sudden, I'm in the middle of a sentence, and Josh says, "I'll be right back." And then, like 10 minutes later, he comes like, "Wow, I feel better."
Hey man, nature called. I was like, I gotta go. It's because you fucking make me record like the second I wake up, like 3 minutes before noon. I'm waking up like, okay, I've only slept like 3 or 4 hours, haven't ate nothing, haven't used the bathroom. Like, all right, let's get ready to record. Very similar to today. So,
so you're saying?
So what you're saying is?
What you're saying is?
And the
nature might call again.
Yeah, nature might call. So the last question we have from our Discord server is, what are your least favorite video game genres? RTS.
Say MOBA. I fucking hate MOBAs.
Yeah, I never understood
shit.
MOBAs. Yeah,
miss me with League. Miss me with the Pokemon arenas or Pokemon Unite. Is that what the fuck it was?
Heroes of the Storm, if you remember that.
Fucking Hotes.
Yeah.
I played it to get a Genji skin.
Same. Like, I played for the Diva skin.
I love StarCraft. Right. I like RTSs. I like FPSs. I like RPGs. There's a lot of genres I like, but for whatever reason, I fucking do not like MOBAs. Like, as much as I've played them, I just don't. And yeah, I would have answered BR honestly because I hate BR mode in general, but Apex is kind of like
pretty good.
Yeah, Apex is like the only BR I enjoy playing. Like I've played them all. I've played PUBG. I've played Fortnite. I've played Call of Duty Blackout. I played CS:GO's wannabe fucking BR mode, which is it's like the worst thing in the fucking world. They spent no time developing it. They just did it because it's like, oh god, this is the new mode everyone's playing. Let's make it ourselves, and it's so trash. But like, I don't know. I don't know what it is about, because MOBA is like, there's skill to it, which I appreciate, but I hate having hard counters. Like, the reason why I like Apex is because more so than your character selection, if you just have good gunplay, you can outplay someone. Like you can outmaneuver someone, you can outgun them, you even like advantage tactical, like fucking just outplay them. You can straight up just like, all right, well, we're gonna use this, and like we're gonna zip over here, and then they're gonna funnel, and then we're gonna be able to grenade spam them, and it's like there's more to it, right? Than just, oh, you have a character that just lets you fucking win. And that's how I feel most MOBAs are, that there's characters that just exist as hard counters that you can't really fucking outplay. Like, it's a very hard, you probably could if you were like fucking, going by global ranking stuff, like a diamond player versus like a bronze player. I probably a diamond player could outplay a bronze player if they're playing their hard like counter, but like that's a huge skill gap.
Yeah. I don't have the name for this genre, but I remember when the new Animal Crossing came out and everyone were losing their shit about it. I was like, fine, I'll try it.
I'll play Animal Crossing.
I'll play Animal Crossing, and I don't get it. I don't get it.
Well, I mean, so
it's not for me.
Have you ever played like simulated, like other type of sim games, like Harvest Moon or Rune Factory or
I never played them, but I know of them.
Or Minecraft.
So I wouldn't say Minecraft. Minecraft is more of a survival game than anything.
Yeah, Minecraft is kind of different.
Yeah, Minecraft is survival. Like, these other games are not.
Not when you play. It's not survival when you play like I do.
Yeah, just
just constantly in creative mode, building a giant metropolis.
Yeah, you're basically playing Sims on on motherload mode.
Yeah, pretty much.
But yeah, so like, because my first Animal Crossing was New Horizons. That's the new one, right?
For the New Horizons, yeah.
Yeah, I literally got the New Horizons. Fuck, I can't.
There you go.
Switch, right? I got the Animal Crossing Switch and Animal Crossing and stuff, and I've never played Animal Crossing before in my life, but I do like sim games. Like, I love Harvest Moon. Like, Harvest Moon Friends of Mineral Town is one of my most absolute favorite games. Rip Natsume and the other people who what's the fucking oh my god, I forget the development studio's actual name. They had to they had a falling out with Natsume, and they basically changed the name from Harvest Moon to Story of Seasons, if I remember correctly.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and it's like really bad. It's terrible, to be honest. But
that's a shame.
Yeah, if you don't like these type of sim games, you're definitely not gonna like.
I never had any experience with any of them. Yeah, but I thought to myself, I'll give it a shot. Why not? It just like it like I don't have any issue with the game. It just never. It's not for me. Like I have a good buddy of mine. Good buddy of mine loved this shit. Every time he comes over, he just plays it all the time, and he's having a great time with it. And I'm like, I guess, I guess, yeah.
We could just be shooting shit up and like fucking playing.
But yeah, I guess you can.
But
yeah.
we'll just fucking.
I guess you're just gonna run around and pick your rocks and your bugs and hit people with your stick, and that's fine, I guess. I don't know.
This is fine.
So I don't really want to call out anyone, but my older sister, who was never into. She's like the most normiest of all normies I've ever known in my fucking entire life, right? And she doesn't play video games. You know what video game got her to fucking play video games?
Animal Crossing.
Like she worked at Nintendo as a game tester for a little bit, and she beta tested not beta tested. She worked on that fucking DS one. Oh my god, I don't remember
New
what it's
Leaf
called.
or something?
I think so. New Leaf? I think yeah, you're right. It's New Leaf. So she played New Leaf and she had to test it, and she just loved the game. So she actually bought like a New Leaf edition 3DS and like got the game, and her name's in the credits somewhere. So it's actually pretty cool. But like that's the game that got her to like. This is the only game I've ever seen her play, and that's kind of the appeal of Animal Crossing and like farming sim games like Friends of Middletown and stuff like that. Story Seasons. It's that
farming simulator 2022.
It's not really farming simulator, but it's like life. It's like a sim game, really. And it's the appeal is that it's relaxing, calm. You can just play it mindlessly, like it's
just chill.
Well, it's for normies. Like it's not really like there's no special mechanics. See, that's one thing that is very interesting. So if you know anyone who's actually doesn't play video games, it's hard to. I had to put down my Switch just to like talk.
He got serious. He put down the fucking video game.
A lot of people don't know this, but if you play a lot of games, you have something called gamer sense, right?
Yeah.
Like something that you just pick up and learn. Like to us as video gamers, when we see, like, let's say there's two paths in front of you, one is lit and one is not lit. Which path do you take? We're always gonna assume, well, the lit one is the one they want us to take. You know, just like how fucking when we, what the fuck is it? I'm trying to remember the game. Hold on.
Which
I think
one?
It's Half-Life. I think it's Half-Life. The game that started it all with the fucking colored barrels. Like
I think that's Half-Life.
That's Half-Life, I think.
Like red barrels equal explosion, bad, right?
Yeah.
Like I think that was Half-Life. Don't quote me on that. I'm pretty sure I'm wrong.
But when you see like a fucking paint trail thingy on something, you're immediately oh, I'm gonna go interact with
like when you're playing Left 4 Dead, they have markings, like they use the color yellow to signify like, hey, this is where you go. They do that in Mirror's Edge. They do like we understand as gamers that these are things that we should look out for. To someone who doesn't play video games, they don't know that. They just go, I don't know where I'm supposed to go.
It's like look around. It's like every time I see a big pile of hay now, it's like I could probably jump into that from a great height. And not
Assassin's Creed.
Is that an eagle I hear?
So, like that's why games like Animal Crossing and Sims and stuff, they're for normies. Like my younger sister was super into Sims, and she never liked playing. She played like Nintendogs and stuff, you know, like games that aren't really. I wouldn't consider them real video games, but they are video games, but not in the sense that like, not RPGs or action or anything that we would play like that. We know, hey, if you spam X, you'll probably reload. Like you give a person who's played a lot of FPSs a controller and not tell him any of the fucking controls, bet you he can fucking figure it out in maybe a minute. What all the buttons do, not just by pressing, but just by game sense of, well, X is right here, it should reload. Y is right here, it should switch guns. Right trigger probably shoots. Left trigger probably throws a grenade. You know, like,
it's
just how it is, man. And it's a weird genre of gaming for sure, because you, as someone who's not into it, you go into it and you're like, who wants to play this? And surprisingly, a lot of people want to play
A lot of,
like
I mean,
non-video. A lot of people want to play non-video video games.
Yeah, I mean, shit. A lot of people played Animal Crossing in 2020. It was kind of the perfect storm for that game specifically.
I mean, to be fair, people were locked inside with very little to do.
There you go.
For days on end.
Yep.
Angry Birds and Temple Run. I don't know what you're exactly responding to. Like, those are your least favorite video game genres? Mobile games? Mobile games are kind of shitty.
Normie games, right? Like, listen, everyone that I know, like my dad and people at my company, you know, all these middle-aged people, you know what they fucking play all the time? Candy Crush.
Yeah.
They're at like level 2000 and shit. And I'm just like, whoa, you guys are still playing Candy Crush?
In 2021?
Yeah, like unlike us fad gamers who just like, what's that? The next new title just dropped. Guess I gotta go play it. Like they just play casual games.
What? Bethesda released Skyrim again? I gotta go buy it.
Yeah, like it's an investment of time sink, and
I swear to God,
for a lot of casual people, they don't really care about like story. They don't care. All they care about is time sink.
I swear to God, though, listen.
Like just not doing anything.
As many times as it's been re-released, I swear to God, Todd Howard will not give us the next Elder Scrolls game until he can figure out how to get Skyrim to run on a Samsung fridge.
I'm sure
Do I have a video for you?
Yeah.
Wait, does it actually run on a Samsung fridge? Please tell me it does.
You severely doubt the strength of a Samsung fridge, my friend.
I'm still looking for the day that Skyrim will run inside Minecraft. I'm sure someone will figure it out.
Listen, if they could get Skyrim to run on a Switch.
True. That's very true. If you can get a game to run on a Switch, it can probably run on just about any form of hardware, even a toaster.
Again, I have another very interesting
playing Pong on a toaster.
Listen, there's a whole subreddit group dedicated to running Doom on just weird
shit. That's right. It's so good.
Like there was the guy who got his Doom to run on his graphics his water cooler like thing. Where where you could set that image.
I saw that video. Yeah. That's actually impressive.
It's like it's so funny.
Another video, we haven't even talked about it. Another game genre that I absolutely detest is gacha games.
Okay, here, listen to me.
No, it is gambling. It is gambling marketed towards children. It is disgusting.
It's not marketed towards children. It's marketed towards whales.
Some of them have.
If you actually played gacha games.
Some of them are children that have rich parents.
Yeah, no, I 100% knew a couple of like. In some gaching communities, I did know some people who had fucking loaded parents, and they would be fine dropping $1,000 every month. So you're not wrong, but it's not like most of so the thing is, gacha games, they're made and catered to people who like collecting, right?
Yeah.
People who, like, that's the reason I play gacha, because I like collecting, and I just like collecting. Like I look at new characters and I'm like, oh, is that banner gonna be up? Oh shit, how crazy are they? Like, do I like their design? Do I like their, like, whatever fucking reason?
My waifu.
Like literally a design of a character, or maybe the DPS, right? Like there's a new character that's gonna drop next. His name is Ito in Genshin, and they make him like in his art he looks super buff and he's a Geodaddy. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm gonna get this dude. He looks pretty cool. Like he looks like a badass. And then they dropped his character model and he's like all skinny and stuff, not as buff as his character art. And I'm just like, no. And literally me and 50% of the community who were gonna pull for him are not pulling for him now because he's not buff. Like that's how fickle we are with our fucking money. Like, and that's just how it is, right? It's, for all intents and purposes, a lot of these gacha games are just waifu and husbando collection simulators. And shit, man, I just want pixels. Like, what can I say?
At that point, you're just an NFT collector.
I mean, basically, yeah.
It's the same thing. It's literally the same thing. Not till the Pip-Boy version. Listen, I will 100% buy and build a Pip-Boy if it can run Skyrim.
They sold that Pip-Boy for the whatever edition for Fallout 4 and it was just like nothing.
I mean, it's listen,
nah.
it's
that piece of molded plastic.
That piece of molded plastic. Hey, at least they didn't get fake canvas bags.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh my god, that was a thing too.
Fallout 76 has become like memes. A poster. Like it's literally become something that's studied in game design like courses for how not to release a game.
I feel bad for people actually work. I feel bad for people actually work on it. Like, yeah.
Do they talk in your game design courses? Do they actually talk about how 76 was released?
We talk more about Cyberpunk and how that release went. Like, I learned a lot about the pre-production, production, and post-production for game development cycles and stuff like that. And a lot of it has to do with planning. Like, Fallout 76 had very bad planning, and it's very apparent. Same thing for Cyberpunk. And that's basically it. Like, no one gave too much thought into it, and it was more of a kind of after the fact, like, what can we throw in here that people might like? Because holy shit, we're shipping a piece of crap game. And that kind of like, do we have any more WTF questions?
No, this is it.
Okay, so I'm going to segue into what I wanted to talk about.
Go ahead.
Which is about fucking beta testing, all right, and how it's bullshit. So, one thing that I used to love being able to go into closed betas and like just doing beta testing in general. I love having a beta open before a game drops, like a week or two before.
Remember how excited you were every time that Halo would come out with a new game and they'd release the open beta and you'd go in there and just have fun.
And you know what I fucking realized like literally yesterday? Not yesterday, but earlier this week? Man, beta tests are fucking garbage.
Yeah.
So the thing about beta tests is that this company is ready to ship this game, and they want to see how much they can get away with shipping this game bad and broken. Like, I remember I played Anthem, I played Destiny before it came out, Destiny 2.
Just now, Battlefield.
And like, Battlefield's fucking beta testing. I didn't I don't play Battlefield, so. But my point is, a lot of these games, like Halo Infinite specifically, is the last game I've beta tested during the open beta. Yeah, it was the open beta. How bad it was, right? Like, how bad the multiplayer is. I personally have not too high of hopes for it because of how a lot of the armors are going to be locked behind like paywalls, and a lot of people are like, well, maybe they might change it. Guess the fuck what? They're not going to change shit. Like, again, beta tests are a way for them to test what do they need to fix immediately so they can ship. Like, they might fix stuff down the road,
but even then it's not enough time because the game comes out like 3 weeks
100%.
later.
But you're right, but it's also to gauge how much bullshit people will take and still buy the game.
Not really. So again, in my game development class, I've learned a lot about the production cycle, and beta testing is something that happens in post-production. So they're already done making the game. So what video game companies do is that let's say it starts off with like 12 people, right? The pre-production, the people who are going to plan it. They're the leads of the departments, like lead engineer,
writers,
lead systems designer, not writers, not yet. They do come in early, but
not that early.
Like, well, because narrative design and all that stuff, it's not how you develop a game is not how you would think you would develop a game, where you have a solid story first. You kind of have a general idea first, and then it kind of like, it's like a funnel, right? Like, I can't. Okay, so it's like this, right? You start off here where yeah, I know. So like, this is where you start off in the game in pre-production, right? Here's your general idea, and it's gonna slowly funnel down, and then you're gonna have a finished product. Like, a lot of story and stuff doesn't get written until actual production, and people kind of write it on the fly, which is why like pre-production meetings and planning it out is a lot better. But you can definitely tell what game had it where like they didn't actually think about it until they had to make it.
Now that I'm assuming that the process that you're describing is for like studio games, not necessarily indie games, because indie games can have a different development cycle.
No. So yes, I'm talking about studio production games, like your AAA title game.
Yeah.
Like, I'm learning from a guy, my teacher, Larry. He worked on like Fear 1 and 2, for example, and War in the North, and like other titles, and
or in the north.
I've learned quite a lot from Ubisoft and Warner Brothers and and Activision and how they do things. And basically, you've got pre-production, which is like your lead.
What, you also
like,
have pub crawls?
What?
Sorry, you said Activision was like, oh, you also have cubic crawls.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Good lord.
Sorry, keep going.
Apparently, it's not just Activision; it's Blizzard too. So the new shit
We'll
coming
get
out.
to that.
But
it's the new Harvey
the point
Weinstein.
is,
everyone in video game design
they
sucks.
don't have they wouldn't necessarily develop a story before they started developing the game. Like, generally it's all right, well, we have kind of an idea of what we want to make. Like, maybe it's a shooter and we don't really know like what kind of shooter, but we want to make a shooter. It's going to be centered around a general idea, and it's going to get funneled down, and then that's when they start putting the finishing touches. And beta testing is bullshit because all they're doing during beta test is not only just collecting the data of who's actually trying to play this game right now, like who's using what systems, what specs, basically what are the major flaws that would catastrophically destroy our sales launch day that we need to fix before launch. That's what they're trying to do with beta testing. And they're basically doing that. So because by that time that they're doing beta testing, this entire team, so it grows from like the 12 initial, like, here are your leads who are going to design your game, like who's going to give you your idea. And then in the middle part during production, you're going to have like 100 or 150 people fucking working on it. Like, if you're on a AAA title, you've got hundreds of people working on this fucking game, right? But when you get to post-production, they're going to take all those people off because they want to put those people into pre-production for a different game now. So a game that's about a month or two away from release, it's got a team the size of, like, maybe, if you're lucky, a third of what they started with. Like, it's not a lot. So unfortunately, what you see is what you're gonna fucking get. Like, unless there's some catastrophic problem, then they might, like, they do that too. Like, if there is a catastrophic problem, they will pull people back and be like, no, we gotta fucking fix this. We're launching like in 2 weeks. Yeah. We have to fucking, and that's what brings crunch culture. And there's this whole fucking, like, it's crazy, man. Well, I've learned so much about it.
The people who worked on Halo 2 at Bungie talked about that, have talked about that a lot over the last several years, about how bad the crunch was for that game because they needed it out immediately.
Dude, Halo 1 was a crunch game. Like, they worked endlessly for a year.
A lot of the people that worked on both of them said that, but they said the Halo 2 crunch was not nearly or the Halo 1 crunch was not nearly as bad as the Halo 2 crunch. Like, there were some of the designers that worked at Bungie on both of those games that said by the end of the Halo 2 like development cycle, they were ready to get on top of the roof and jump off.
Yeah, and
the sad thing about, like,
that's like the worst part, right?
Yeah.
Like, so, wait, let me finish my thought because I'm so scattered brain. So, the thing about beta testing is they take away all their QA people, and because they're like, all right, you got to go do something else. Because when you're in a game company, you're on the clock all the time. So it's hard to justify paying you and having you around if you're not doing anything, right? But what do you do in between projects? Not really much. Like, that's kind of the hard part about the game industry in general right now. When you're employed, you're not constantly working. And what kind of company wants to keep paying you if you're not constantly fucking producing something? And the solution that they have to that is to pull people off. So the solution to pulling people off and then fixing their problems was beta testing. So
make us do it.
Beta test, yeah, make the people who want to play this fucking do it, and we'll fix the major problems so we can ship it. That's all they're gonna do. And it's terrible.
It's kind of sad also, like, we talk about the crunch culture and all that happened. I think, like, the thing that was the most heartbreaking learning about all the stories of like the BioWare's development cycles, right? Is how they, like, at certain points they'll talk about the BioWare magic. It's like, it's okay, guys, it's okay to crunch and just not sleep because in the end it'll work out, this BioWare magic. And then we got to Anthem, it's like, that doesn't work anymore, I guess.
Yeah,
it's,
like Anthem,
that culture that creates is like,
that wasn't always the case with BioWare shocking.
Though. You'd be surprised. A lot of their games, they somehow managed to pull through, like, by the end, and somehow they did it.
Well, I've heard interviews from people. I've heard interviews from people who worked on the first Mass Effect game, and they said that there was very little crunch near the end of that game because it was really like they had a sizable development cycle for that game. So they had the time to work out everything.
If I'm not mistaken, like that happened, like I think for Mass Effect 2, 3 specifically. I think it happened for KOTOR as well. Like it's been ages since I read that Jason Schreier article, but it was like
there was definite crunch for KOTOR 2 because they developed that game in like a year and 3 months.
Wasn't it Obsidian though?
Yeah, it was passed off to BioWare. Did the first KOTOR game, and then they wanted to have a sequel within the next year, so they passed it off to Obsidian. This is also at the same time. This is also like a few years later. They also did the exact same thing with Bethesda dropping Fallout on them, and that's what we. But you know what? The two things that Obsidian did that with, KOTOR 2 and Fallout New Vegas, are fucking phenomenal games.
But like back to Power, like fucking Dragon Age 2, they had like how many months to work on that? Like maybe a bit over a year or something insane like that.
I don't remember exactly. But
it's a miracle that game came out.
I think it was 19 months. I think they had a 19-month development cycle. If I remember, I could be remembering that wrong.
With how crunch works and stuff, crunch is bad in general. Pay your fucking workers, right?
Yeah.
But like I said, a lot of this and how well a game is going to turn out is going to depend on the pre-production. How well did they fucking decide to make this game? Did they already finish a story? Did they have like an overarching like system that's easy to follow? Like you'll go into these game studios and you'll see fucking walls of whiteboards where they have like things circled out and like these have been up for months. Like this is the plan. We're following this plan. Like these are the level designs. This is what we're going to do. Like again, these games that have short development cycles, where it's like they made it in a year, they might have had really good pre-production. Like especially if there's a predecessor to the game. Yeah. Like for Fallout New Vegas, like there's a general idea. Like all right, well we already have the system that we know we can use. Like,
Bethesda gave them the creation engine and gave them all the assets they used to make Fallout 3.
And a lot of it, again, depends on your pre-production. Like, how strongly do your workers feel about this game? Do they love it? It definitely helps when you have a passion for the franchise, right? Because, unfortunately to say, a lot of people working on making a video game don't actually like the fucking video game. Like my teacher, he hates Lord of the Rings, and I know, fucking absolute heresy. But he's a sci-fi guy, so I'm like, okay, whatever, fucking weirdo Star Trekky people. Wow. So, but he still worked on it, and he did his job. I wouldn't say he did a great job, but he did his job, right? And that's one of the biggest problems. Like, if you have people who aren't passionate about the project at the helm, they're not going to really do a fucking great job at pre-production where they plan everything out, right? And at the same time, like, there's also the fact that when you're planning, there's only a small team of you, and you can't plan forever. Like, how long are you going to take to plan? 1 month? 2 months? Fucking half a year? There are some game production companies, like, there are some companies that will have pre-production for a year or two.
Rockstar.
That's a long fucking time, right? And
one of the richest games like Cyberpunk, like, were in production for, like, 6 years or something like that. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, and a big problem with Cyberpunk was that it was in production for so long because they couldn't fucking decide what to do. Like 100%, they weren't trying to refine the game and make it as good as possible. And then honestly, like, Cyberpunk really launched at the wrong time because it launched during an era. It had to launch at the end of a fucking life cycle of a console, right? And that completely makes compatibility issues. Like, if you look at every generation of console, for example, like PS3 games, end of cycle PS3 games, there are some of them that look better than PS4 games.
Yeah.
Even though the PS4 is like twice as fast, twice as strong, shit like that. And that has to do a lot with people being able to, like, they're comfortable developing on this. This platform has been out for fucking 7 years. We know how to develop for it. Versus, oh god, this platform just dropped last month. Sony didn't release the specs to us, so we have zero idea how to fucking make it work. Like, that's exactly what happened, and that's why Cyberpunk looks so bad on PlayStation 5. Like, and you know, I'm not gonna lie. Before I took all these classes for game development, I also thought, I was like, oh, what, you know, this and that. But now that I've taken, like, this is how the development cycle goes. This is how your workload's gonna be. I understand a lot more about the industry. I'm like, oh, oh no, it's not their fault.
What have
Oh
I gotten
God.
myself into?
No, for sure. Like I
Which
feel
doesn't
bad for the
excuse
the developers like on the ground level, like just pour their hearts out, like fucking slave away on these games.
oh
I
yeah,
think I think
like,
that's why Fallout New Vegas is such a great game, because everyone at Obsidian was so passionate about Fallout.
yeah, like I said, they probably did really well at the pre-production, and they had a fucking plan in mind, and they fucking just worked through it, which is again terrible. Crunchyroll's fucking garbage, but
Well,
they liked the game, they liked the series, they had they had passion for it, which is probably why it ends up really good.
yeah, well, like Josh Sawyer, who was at Black Isle Studios before they folded, because they were the ones who originally worked on the first two Fallout games. And he went to Obsidian. He was one of the lead designers of Fallout New Vegas. Like, he has like a fucking encyclopedia of Fallout in his head. Like, he has almost the entire Fallout canon stored in his head.
See? And that's how you can tell if why a game is good or bad. It's gonna be about the production, like the pre-production team. How passionate were they when they decided to start this fucking mess? Because I'm not gonna lie, a lot of what I've seen for game development is a mess. It literally is a jumbled mess on a fucking whiteboard that they kind of decide, and just like they play it by ear, and they're gonna fix things as it comes along.
Kind of like planning our podcast.
Yeah, basically. And it's actually pretty hilarious. I'm like, how do games even get made, man? Like,
it's kind of a miracle, honestly.
Magic.
Yeah.
Fucking magic. That's how. God, people get paid, and these studios get paid like millions of dollars up front to, like, so they're gonna get paid up front for basically like a year or two, right? That's how these studios work. Their executives go and pitch it to the company CEO or something. Like, let's say you're a production studio and you work under EA, your executive producer at your production studio is gonna go pitch your idea to the EA CEOs and stuff. The people are gonna give you money. And basically, this is going to sign your check for the next 2 or 3 years. So it's actually pretty fucking rough. Like,
it's almost like working on commission.
I know, because it's like how no one really cares about your game other than how much money can it make, right? So when you've got it's just like selling a movie, you know, you got to go up to the people who are going to lend you money and be like, hey man, I've got this really cool idea. And it really helps if you have like at least something to show them what you're trying to make. Or like if you have like, they love charts. Fucking listen, I don't know why, but let me tell you about how upper management gets their fucking cocks hard over Excel and spreadsheets. Okay?
That Excel sheet is pretty sexy though.
Love charts.
Excel sheets are pretty sexy, John.
Like, I can't lie.
Like, people fucking love seeing that shit. And basically, as long as you can have an Excel sheet with like, this is our estimated returns, this is the market we're hitting, we've got a lot of market research into this, they'll fucking greenlight you.
Game dev, I don't know, I'm making it up as I go. Yeah, pretty much.
I mean, honestly speaking, that's how game dev is. Like, and it made me realize, like, I really don't want to work in, like, I'd like the experience of going to a AAA title, AAA studio. I'd like to work on a AAA title just to put it under my belt. Like, oh yeah, I was on that. I was on Halo Infinite 2. Like, oh shit, I was, you know, the ghost design for that one level. That was me, man. I did that. That'd be cool, you know.
I was there in Todd Howard's office sucking his dick. Yeah, that was me.
Oh my god. Priorities, Alex.
Because it's not only is it really good for your resume to just be like, I worked at the AAA studio on the AAA studio game. It's really good for your fucking profile, but I also kind of just want to experience it. But for the most part, I want to just do like indie dev, because indie dev has its own problems. Like, obviously, you don't have to go through this production cycle. You can basically do whatever you want, but you got to understand.
Hard, though.
Well, for a full-time job, like, if it takes a studio 150 people over the course of, say, 2 or 3 years, they got their money up front. Now, I'm not sure how you're going to pay for yourself for the next 3 years working full-time, and that's doing 150 people's amount of work. That's if you want to release a AAA title, which is why indie games are so unpolished compared to like official games. Like, this is how it is. It's the nature of the beast.
Rely on something that's not like the big bombastic like games.
And
yeah,
I don't know. I feel like you gotta have a certain fucking passion to try to do indie development, man. The tide just
I just leaned.
He got.
I was scared away by Speedwagon.
Yeah, he was scared away by Speedwagon.
Do you feel like also like working in AAA would probably give you a shit ton of experience for indie work, right?
Shit ton of aneurysms too.
I wouldn't say it gives you a bunch of indie work, because again, indie is very unique. Like, you work at your own pace, and you know, I'm not sure if working 16 hours a day every day for the next 2 years is for you or not. That's a lot of passion you're gonna have behind you to drive you to do this. Like, I mean, who knows? You might be some fucking genius screenplay writer and a fucking genius Einstein level programmer, right? You're just like, oh yeah, I can sip cup. I'm coding. Like, oh yeah.
G Fuel.
Yeah, G Fuel.
Like, it's its own thing, and I don't know. I'm trying to do it in my spare time with my buddy, and it's pretty fucking rough.
Yeah.
Like, not gonna lie.
Classy Ulysses says, I really love the Call of Duty Infinite Warfare campaign. You and like 5 other people, man.
Infinite Warfare campaign?
Yeah. That's also Kevin Spacey.
No, that's Advanced Warfare. Don't.
Oh, that's Advanced. What was Infinite Warfare then?
Jon Snow.
Oh.
Why do you know this off the top of your head, Natai?
I didn't even play it. I don't know.
Why do you know
my
this
brain,
off the top of your head?
My brain is like a series of irrelevant anecdotes. I don't know why I know that shit.
But
this is why Parathis went indie. AAA is crazy. Yeah, it sounds like it.
Yeah, AAA is not for everyone, and indie is definitely not for everyone. Like, some people go to game dev because they just want, like, I think it was 20% or 15% of the people in game development do it just because it pays. Like, honestly speaking. A lot of people, though, are working there because they like video games, so that's kind of a good thing. But, yeah.
How secure of a job is it, though, in AAA, considering we get stories like layoffs in Blizzards and stuff like that?
Well, actually, I learned a lot about layoffs and stuff, too, in my game development class, but I feel like I'm talking too much about my stuff. So, the short end of it is, layoffs are kind of an easy way for companies to get rid of people who suck at game development. Like, a lot of people, there's a lot of dead weight, especially, you know, you've got 200 or plus people on a fucking team, culling like 75 of them. It's not necessarily a bad thing, because majority of the people on that list are people who are bad for the project. Like, either they didn't get along with the people, they stalled a bunch of stuff, they didn't deliver. Like, a lot of these people kind of deserved it, and it's not a bad thing either, because a lot of people also bounce around to game development studios. Like, everyone bounces around. Like, eventually.
Oh, really?
Kind of like how animators bounce around to different anime studios.
Yeah, like, it's because you're talent. Like, as long as you have a talent, you will be hired at other studios. So don't be disheartened if you are in, you know, you get your dream job at, I was going to say Blizzard, but no,
well,
I'm trying to think of a good studio that people all want to work for, and I can't really fucking think of one. So,
it's funny. It's funny. All of the big studios that we used to thought would be dream jobs have come out and be like these really terrible places.
It all depends, though, because it depends on your level. Entry level, definitely fucking terrible. You don't want to fucking work there at entry level, like fresh out of college. However, there are some like lead designer positions in a bunch of these fields for all these studios. Basically, you're kind of the same, and you get paid a fuckload of money, man. Like, we're talking people who are they're clearing $150,000, $160,000, $175,000 a year. And but that's like, they've done the work. They're amazing people. Like, they deserve to be paid this much, because they are basically carrying this studio on their backs.
Yeah, for sure. Let's see. Look what happened to the company who made the Telltale game. Yeah, I mean, Telltale, they released a game and then immediately went bankrupt.
Because games are fucking expensive.
Games are fucking expensive. Most
you gotta
games
pay for licenses. You gotta pay for like a lot of shit.
Most game designers are just people who download a game engine and think, I is game designer. Others because it's $1 billion industry. Few because they actually like the punishment.
Is this Parathis? I feel like Google user.
I think it is. I think it is.
He speaks from experience. It must be Parathis.
It must be. Rocksteady, good company. Yeah, Rocksteady. Yeah.
But yeah, like if you get a dream job at your AAA company, don't be surprised to like work there for 3 to 5 years and then have to go find a different job.
Yeah, well, some of the people that get let go at the end
of
projects are also contract workers who are only contracted to work on that game.
Yeah, that too. Like, that's why when I see, again, before I went to college for these classes and stuff, that's what I thought too. I was like, oh my god, it seems so unstable. It's like, it's actually relatively stable if you've got talent and you pull your weight.
It's more stable than the cybersecurity industry, I can tell you that.
One of the other
right,
problems,
Natai?
though,
so far so good. Let's not
but you know turnover is high in the cybersecurity area.
It's very competitive. It's very, very competitive.
It's super competitive. Like there's a huge impetus on you to constantly just be learning and be up on certifications and new shit and like all the time. Anytime a new piece of hardware comes out, like you got to know about it.
Yeah.
That makes me remember like there's that, what was it? What the fuck was it? It was jQuery was only out for like 5 years and like applications already asking for like 10 years of experience.
Yeah, and the guy, so that's actually true because the guy who came out with it actually tried to get a job doing stuff like that with jQuery, and they said that the guy who created it wasn't experienced enough to use it.
So ridiculous. So ridiculous.
I created the damn thing. No. We need at least 10. It's only been out for 2.
Guilty. So yeah, the Google user is Parathis. Yes,
I knew it.
By the way, RIP to retail workers who worked on Black Friday. Absolutely. Bless you if you worked on Black Friday.
Pour one out.
Yeah. So should we actually move on to some other stuff now?
Oh wait, no. So the other thing about losing your job in the game industry.
One more thing.
It's not a bad thing. So attaching your name to a big title, like you were part of that, or a big studio. One of the best ways to get raises in the video game industry is to go to a different studio.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because
it's one of the best ways to get raises in general. Working,
unfortunately, in the video game business, basically the only way to make money is to go to a different studio and try to get a better position, like a higher position. Like senior level people are the people who make bank. Like, don't get it twisted. You might make okay money as like an entry level, like mid person, but to make that, like we're talking the $200,000 a year people, you've got to become a senior lead designer or something, like a senior something. And unfortunately, the only way to do that is to either, kiss a lot of ass at your current game studio and be a fucking wizard at everything, or take your abilities and go to a different studio that need a lead designer.
Yeah.
So
how many projects do you need under your belt to be considered, quote unquote, like at that level? Or is it not, doesn't run it doesn't
so
really
for
work, right?
it depends on studios and like what they're looking for. And obviously, you don't make the same type of games, but you kind of have the general idea of like the same workflow for just depending on the studio, but for lead designers and stuff, for example, like what I'm trying to do, they want you to have at least one AAA title under your belt, and they want you to have at least 5 years of experience working at a AAA studio.
Gotcha.
So that's like the minimum. Obviously, the more is better because it's like, oh yeah, I've been part of all these AAA titles and helped with the successful launches of these. They love to see shit like that. Like, but more so than that, like, how do you, just like interviews, you got to sell your portfolio. Like, this is what I've worked on. This is what I designed. This is what I did to revolutionize this game. And if they see you as some like crazy whiz kid who like, oh my god, you're the one who made this game so fucking amazing, they're gonna pick you up and they'll give you a good fucking offer.
Probably also like correct me if I'm wrong, but are they looking for like team players? Like, it seems like such a collaborative effort to make video games, right? Or not really? You can go by as just like being a dick.
You definitely don't get a lot of people in the game industry who are like Kojima, goddamn fucking divas, but they definitely do exist because they are Kojimas. They are. If you are a Kojima type person where you are just so fucking crazy with your storylines that you are literally the face of this company, you will basically be able to throw your dick around however the fuck you like. Like, that's just a given. But for the most part, if you're doing entry level stuff, yeah, you've got to be a team player. And what that basically translates to is, hey, we're going to ask you to go for coffee. You're going to fucking do it. Hey, we're going to ask you to do some really shitty coding for stuff that you don't care about, and you're going to fucking do it.
Yeah.
And that's kind of, you got to drone your way through it, but you got to somehow, like, distinguish yourself. But even that, like, even if you droned away, even if I was like, if I got hired to fucking 343 and I had droned away making on Halo Infinite, I could say I fucking worked on it. That alone is worth it, to be honest.
For sure. Work is work.
Yeah.
Well, because, the more you have to say that I worked on this, I've been in this different type of stuff, it's just better for your portfolio.
Yeah.
But we should move on to someone else. To the Simp Report!
To the Simp Report! Natai, give me the music! Good enough. And since we are actually on camera here, I can just do this and make it so easy to talk about this. So yes, this is the Simp Report as of today, as a matter of fact. And Natai, you will be very happy to know I have finally simped for Crony.
The voice has reached you.
The voice of the Time Lord has reached me. So yeah.
Speaking of spreadsheets.
Yeah, speaking of spreadsheets, if you're looking at the stream right now, there's a sexy spreadsheet right here. This is Senpai's VTuber receipts.
Hey, hold on. You need to do a pie chart breakdown, okay?
Can I? No, shut up.
We'll show you off.
Can I actually turn this into a? I'll figure it out later.
With enough data, you will.
We need more data. We need more data points, guys. But yeah, this is the breakdown of how I have simped for VTubers as of today. As a matter of fact, I actually just updated this right before we started the stream. So yeah, Sakura Miko is still my top simped girl with $450. I'm crazy. Look at this. Look at the Natai. I've simped $200 for Ollie. What is wrong with me?
I'm surprised it's so low.
Yeah.
You fucking.
I've been waiting for
Ollie.
you to surpass
Ollie
the
was
grand.
I feel like Ollie stole your fucking heart when she debuted, man. Like you.
Yo, for real.
When she debuted, you're like, oh man, I kind of like her. Her energy's really high and she's crazy. And I'm just like,
now I'm like, this is my girl. No one else can have her. Yeah.
Now let me ask.
We in Anime Club After Dark do not endorse Alex's actions.
I mean, I don't endorse a lot of things Alex does, yes. But, so, would it count as simping if you buy merch from them? Or is simping...
I haven't actually really bought any VTuber, like, physical merchandise yet, but I haven't actually...
You don't have all the boob pads? Come on, man.
No, I don't, actually.
What about that plum wine, though, Alex?
I want it so bad. I want to try Pekara's plum wine so bad, but they do not ship outside of Japan.
I'll never forgive the Japanese.
You can go to you can go. They have companies that will buy
ship stuff from Japan,
like international people do.
Well, if anyone knows of a way to get Pekara's plum wine in the U.S., please share it with me because I would love to taste it. I love plum wine, and
basically just gonna cost like an extra $100.
It's worth it.
Oh my god.
But, yeah. So the reason I ask is because for Kason, I actually bought. When you linked her merch that day,
you simp.
I bought a mask.
You bought a Kason mask?
Because it's hand signed by Kason. So and I went and looked at the store like yesterday, and everything's fucking sold out. So I was just like, because at first I read it, and I was like, wait, why isn't this sold out? I was like, did the store just open up? And I was like doing fucking calculations in my head. I was like, okay, how much is it gonna cost for shipping and this and that? And I was just like, I was like, fuck it, it's for Kason. It's to support Kason. I'm buying this. But and I'm not gonna wear that mask. I'm gonna fucking frame it because it's signed by Kason. So fuck you.
I'm so happy for Kason.
A new simp has arrived.
She passed 1 million subscribers on YouTube. I could not be happier.
I know. I freaking love Kason. And
I hope one day we can get her on the podcast. It would just
that would be
We're too
incredible.
small time for that, dude.
Probably, yeah.
We're too small time.
The collab she did with Melody on Chatterbait was pretty good.
Fucking played everyone, dude.
Played everyone like a fiddle. They get there and it's literally just her doing the meme review with Melody. But they were doing like hentai meme reviews, so it was fine. Hey, Earl Grey, taking time for a report writing to see what you guys are doing. We are looking at spreadsheets.
So moving on.
Favorite.
So I have spent a total of $1,327 US simming for VTubers. So I don't have a problem. It's you that have a problem.
Did you sim for the Nut Queen?
I have. I actually have been. She did a
Non-stop Nut November going strong. It's almost over.
It's almost over. Non-stop Nut November. Put on these nuts to your forehead. But yeah, she did a karaoke stream earlier this month where I simped for her while she was singing.
She has a great singing voice. Like,
she does.
Shit. When you linked me that Demon Slayer cover she did, it was like,
yeah, the Demon Slayer cover was really, really good.
I mean, all the so Hololive is, for all intents and purposes, an idol agency. Like, they all need they all need to be able to learn how to dance, and they all need to be able to fucking sing. So
yeah.
But it's surprising when you listen to like someone for so much time and she has this very particular voice, and they're like, "Ooh."
I don't mean to shame anyone, but there are some singers in Hololive that aren't that good. I'm not gonna say Ame is a bad singer, but it's not her strong suit.
No, 100% not. But
no.
I don't think Hololive EN was ever meant to be idols in the sense of pop idols like Hololive Japan is.
Yes.
Like, I feel like Hololive EN was their foray into, okay, we need to create characters because again, who was it? It was Mori Calliope. She was the one on Trash Taste that was basically exposing how they do like the selections.
Exposed in 4K.
Yeah, exposed in 4K. Fucking Yago. Like, yeah, there's a whole selection process, and they do background checks, and they make sure you're clean enough to represent their agency. Like, it's a job. So it makes sense, like, that Ame can't sing, because I don't think they created Hololive EN with the intention of making a like idol group.
Yeah.
More so, they just wanted a face of entertainers, and surprisingly, people find America to be very entertaining. Like, I'm not sure if
look at Florida. It's pretty entertaining.
The fucking clown show rodeo over here. So we're very entertaining to the rest of the world. But with that being said, though, like, everyone loves our entertainment. So I feel like they created the girls from Hololive EN not based around that they're trying to make an idol group, but based around that they want to make an entertainers.
Yeah, that's fair.
And they did fucking well, because look at look at Gura, look at
all of them have over 1 million subscribers.
Yeah,
and Gura is the most subscribed to VTuber in the world.
Yeah, so they were right on the money for that, man. Like, no fucking joke.
I knew the second I saw Gura's debut stream, I was like, I just thought like,
the infamous
that was heard around the world.
I feel that was watching that debut stream. At the end of it, I thought, this girl is gonna be huge. Like, I didn't think that she'd get to like almost 4 fucking million subscribers, but I thought that she was gonna be toward the top of the pile in terms of VTubers pretty soon. And
I was just like, because of lowly character design, like Atlas, the new one.
Yeah. Oh god. Yes, my dark.
Oh no.
Look
at him. He's already consumed by it.
Yes, my dark.
Listen, they're trying to recreate Gura, but for Japan. Not gonna lie.
100%. 100%.
I don't know if she's gonna take over with a storm though, like Gura did. I have zero idea. It depends on how entertaining she can be.
I will say this, like, they have 3 branches. They used to have 4, because they used to have a Chinese branch, but that shut down because of all that big brouhaha. Also, I do want to point out, so in an anime that's currently airing right now, something about assassin living a quiet life. I don't know. It's some isekai show.
Oh, the one that
World's Greatest
World's
Assassin,
Finest
something,
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
know. Anyway, whatever it is, Momosuza Nene, who is one of the Gen 5 JP girls, actually has a role in that anime. She is one of the voice actors for a character that shows up. In the Chinese version, they completely edited the character out of the show.
What?
Whoa, that's insane.
Yeah, they 100% edited her entire character out of the show just because of all that bullshit that went down with certain members of Hololive saying that Taiwan is a country.
She didn't even say Taiwan was a country. She just showed.
Actually, Google was the one that said that Taiwan was a country.
Yeah, she was just showing.
China needs to cut out
right?
Google. I'm telling you.
Yeah, I mean Google should cut out China, to be perfectly honest. But
Tencent's really trying. Don't worry, man.
Oh, they're trying.
Tencent's fucking trying.
Oh,
and I shouldn't talk shit about Tencent. You know why? Because they own a bunch of mobile companies
and Discord.
So they could very well be my next employers. So.
That's true.
Next week on Iron Club After Dark, we're sponsored by Tencent.
I know we're gonna be sponsored by China.
But no, where I was going with this is, so we have the three main branches of Hololive. We have the Indonesian branch, the Japanese branch, and the English branch. I definitely think the next language, quote unquote, they should really get into is Spanish. It is the third most spoken language in the world.
I mean, Iron Mouse is sort of paving that way, right?
Yeah, because she does.
First of all, she's Puerto Rican. You fucking.
But
racist.
she speaks Spanish.
Yeah.
Me no speco no.
Wow.
I'm not gonna make that
no,
joke even.
please, no.
Don't even make that joke.
But
Huevos.
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 I fucking love Iron Mouse so much.
Es jueves, Kiki? No es jueves. Es jueves.
Iron Mouse.
Iron Mouse. Yeah,
I love Iron Mouse so much.
I feel like, but I feel bad because now she's part of V Shoujo. So if Hololive expands the Hololive Spanish, we would never get Iron Mouse, and I hate it.
No, I mean she'd have to leave V Shoujo probably, but I don't think
she would.
I definitely think with the amount of people around the world that do speak Spanish, I think they would have a really big listener base or watcher base.
I think so too, but again, there's market research that goes into this, right? People don't just fucking spend money for willy-nilly as much as we'd like to believe. Yago had a dream and he has
and Matsuri crushed it.
And Matsuri has crushed it. But Hololive, the agency itself, does a lot of market research into stuff like this. Just in general, this is how companies work.
Well, A-chan talked about that a couple months ago on one of her streams too.
Oh, really?
About how much market research they do before they launch a new gen.
Character.
A gen.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's just, but to me, I didn't even know that. Because I don't watch A-chan very much. I know who A-chan is, and I just love her as a character. And I love that she's part of the Hololive universe now too.
Who's A-chan?
The Hololive cinematic universe. You don't know who A-chan is? You uncultured shit.
Show me the design. I might know it.
Hold on.
She is not a manager, I believe.
She's was briefly, but
yeah, everyone thinks A-chan is a manager, but I believe she's not a manager. But she's I don't know if she's a production assistant or something. I don't actually know. She usually is the one who's advertising the albums, the music albums. And she's fucking precious. I love A-chan.
I can't send this to you without accidentally showing our DMs on stream.
Hold on,
I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't fucking do it.
Just go onto YouTube and type in A-chan. It's the very first thing that pops up.
Hyphen.
Yeah, assistant Chan, right? Is that what A stands for?
Yeah, it's her in Japanese. She's Eugene A.
With the glasses and shit.
Yeah, that's her.
A-chan.
I know her. Okay.
So I didn't even know A-chan did that. That's actually pretty nuts. Because I just assumed, because again, I assume a lot of things about a lot. I talk out of my ass a lot, guys. I make a lot of assumptions, and I'm right 80% of the time. So I have no reason to believe I'm wrong most of the time.
No, I'm not going to show Natai and I's DMs on stream. No.
I don't even want to see my own DMs with Alex, to be honest. It's disgusting.
Have you seen some of the stuff I've DM'd you recently?
No, thank you.
Yikes. It's all fucking Hanakawa porn. I know it.
He's just defiling my goddess. I hate it.
Yeah. But yeah,
he's not even denying it.
No, I'm not even denying it. Moving on though. I haven't even mentioned this. I should have mentioned this from the outset. First of all, Natai, happy Hanukkah.
Thank you very much.
And Thanksgiving
we
was
have
recently.
Donuts.
Yeah, well, I mean, hey. But Thanksgiving was recently, and I am so fucking sick of leftovers. No, just no more. I can't do it.
I wish I fucking had leftovers, man.
Yeah,
send it our way. Like, come
send
on.
it our way. I don't know why you're bitching about.
To be fair, the only thing I have left is what do I have left? I have a little bit of dressing left, and I also have some collard greens.
These nuts.
Yeah, these nuts. I also have some collard greens. Yes. That's pretty much it, and a shit ton of tea, a shit ton of Publix bottled tea. Oh my, I bought way too much of that for Thanksgiving, but it was buy one get one free.
Dude, I think I drank just tea for the past like 4 days last week while I was sick. It's kind of insane.
Are you feeling better, by the way?
I'm way better. You remember when I called you that one morning? I'm like,
yeah, you sounded like this.
I was like, so remember that Monogatari episode we're doing? I can't talk right now.
Yeah.
It was impossible.
Yeah.
I recovered.
So, John, you're the only other American here. What did you do for Thanksgiving? Did you just have dinner with friends and family?
So traditionally, I'm Asian. I don't do Thanksgiving. I have a Friendsgiving, and I usually do hot pot with my friends. Yeah. But this year, I actually went to my girlfriend's family's place, and I had actual American Thanksgiving. With like I had stuffing for the first time.
It's fire, isn't it?
What's stuffing?
It was fucking bread soaked in turkey juices, bro. And it's I know it's literally gross.
That's it. It's
I know it sounds fucking gross, but holy crap, man, that stuffing fucking killer. And her 5-cheese mac and cheese, fuck.
Yeah, boy.
Like, I did not know how good Thanksgiving. So because I'm Asian, my Thanksgiving consists of like we might have turkey, we'll definitely have mashed potatoes, but like instant mashed potatoes.
Ooh.
And there's gonna be noodles. I know, but there's gonna be fucking noodles involved in my Asian Thanksgiving.
Nothing wrong with noodles on Thanksgiving.
And like, I don't know, because we don't know how to fucking celebrate Thanksgiving. Like, my parents are immigrants, man. Come on. So we kind of just do whatever. But yeah, so this year was my first like actual American Thanksgiving, and the food was fucking killer. I see why so many people look forward to it now.
Mm-hmm. Thanksgiving food is fucking fire. Okay, so stuffing, technically you actually have to stuff it inside the turkey for it to be stuffing. That's how it soaks up the juices. Yeah. Like, see, my family doesn't do that. We do what's called dressing, which is kind of a southern thing. So what we will do is while the turkey is cooking in the oven, my mom will go in and collect the drippings off of the turkey, and then put them like into a jar. And what we do is we make cornbread dressing. So we'll make a lot of my mom will make a big pan of cornbread, right? And it'll have like spices and stuff in it to make it all nice and Thanksgiving-ified.
Nice and Turkish.
Yeah,
nice and Turkish.
Nice and Turkish. And then she will pour like over the cornbread dressing the drippings from the turkey, and then she'll put it and let it finish off in the oven like that. It's so good. It's so good.
Yeah, so I never knew I was fucking missing out on until this year, and I'm looking forward. Like, it's what 360 something, 62 more days until Thanksgiving again. I'm fucking disappointed, man.
You need
more, man. I need more Thanksgiving food, man.
You talk about.
We should have Thanksgiving too.
Yeah, electric boogaloo, turkey boogaloo. No, you talk about Friendsgiving, and that's something that more and more people have started to do. So traditionally in Thai, like Thanksgiving is supposed to be something in America for family, right? You just get together with your family and you do stuff. For me, on Thursday, the actual day of Thanksgiving, it's almost exclusively for family. But usually either Friday or Saturday after Thanksgiving, I'll get together with some of my friends and we'll, have dinner or go out somewhere or whatever.
Get wasted.
But more and more, I'm seeing people actually invite like their friends and stuff over for like on Thanksgiving and just have a good old time.
That sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah. That's why when we were trying to plan like recordings for this last week, I was like, I'm not sure about Friday or Saturday. Let me get back to you.
Yeah, that was totally like fair though.
Yeah, it's fine.
Thanksgiving.
Maybe America. See, in America, we typically don't actually stuff the stuffing in the turkey. We actually just do it outside and then just pour the turkey drippings on top of the
You Americans sure like to stuff stuff.
I mean, you're literally just putting the bread inside the ass of the turkey, so
with its fucking giblets.
With its it's fucking the innards.
And that's why Alex likes anal.
Wow. I like anal for many reasons.
Oh man.
All right. Well, the last thing that I personally wanted to talk about on this WTF, and then I'll turn it over to I think John maybe had one other thing he wanted to talk about as well.
We're just gonna skip Natai. Is he not gonna be able?
No,
to
I said I'm John.
I am invisible.
Yeah, he is. Oh, he literally. Oh shit. He leans back and he just becomes invisible. I just don't want to really talk about this too much because this has actually happened right before we started recording. Jack Dorsey, one of the co-founders of Twitter, resigned today as CEO.
Oh shit!
It just happened like 2 hours before we started recording. And I want to pull up his actual tweet. It's funny because yesterday he just put out a tweet that said, "I love Twitter," and then 24 hours later, "Hey guys, I'm resigning." But I want to pull up the actual tweet of his resignation. I'm going to read out part of his resignation letter. It just says, from Jack Dorsey to Twitter team. "Hello, team. After almost 16 years of having a role at our company, from co-founder to CEO, to chair, to executive chair, to interim CEO, and back to CEO, I decided it's finally time for me to leave. Why?" And then he talks about like the importance of companies being founder-led, but eventually they have to go out on their own without their founder because being founder-led is a single point of failure, and I kind of agree. But he goes on and talks about the new CEO that they're going to have and the new board chair.
Do we know who are they?
Huh?
Do we know who are the new CEO?
The new CEO is...
Who is the new CEO, rather?
The new CEO will be... He says... I forget what his actual first name is, but Parag is his...
I thought you were about to say Parappa the Rapper.
No, not Parappa the Rapper. I wish. Twitter might be a better place. I think that's his surname. I don't know what his first name is. But I know he's been with Twitter for a long time. He started as like a basic engineer there, and now he's the CEO. And then he is also going to be replaced as board chair by Brett Taylor, who was also a former engineer at Twitter. And then he also...
Good luck with that shitstorm. Just gonna say that.
And he ends his letter by saying, "I want you all to know that this is my decision and I own it. It was a tough one for me, of course. I love this service and this company and all of you so much. I'm really sad, yet really happy. There aren't many companies that get to this level, and there aren't many founders that choose their company over their own ego. I know we'll prove this was the right move. We'll have an all-hands meeting, blah, blah, blah. Until then, thank you for all the trust you placed in me and for the openness to build that trust in our new CEO and yourselves. I love you all. Signed, Jack. P.S. I'm tweeting this email out. My one wish is that Twitter Inc. will become the most transparent company in the world. Hi, Mom."
I feel like he didn't fucking actually tweet that out. I feel like they hired an intern and they are like, "Hey, so the CEO is retiring. Here's a script. Tweet it out."
This is a screenshot from Jack Dorsey's actual email account, so I'm assuming he wrote it.
Again, like,
I guess
when there's a changing of the guard, who knows when they fucking put the bag over your head and throw you in the fucking trunk, right?
That's something I was gonna say.
All your shit logged in.
That's something I was gonna say. This actually, someone pointed this out, and I 100% agree. This feels like the moment after you overthrow a tyrant. You don't know if it's gonna lead to decades of peace or everyone getting thrown in the gulag.
Oh.
Yikes.
That's exactly what this feels like. Because I have such mixed feelings about Jack Dorsey. I think Twitter had... I think under his care, he's allowed Twitter to become this really cesspool of content. But at the same time, I feel like he may not have had an enormous amount of control over that.
It's Twitter. How can you control it?
They control plenty of it by censoring a lot of stuff. But
That's actually true. Never mind. I retract that.
I have such mixed feelings about Twitter too. Like on one hand, like the actual service itself, the idea behind it is actually really good. How so many people use it is really bad.
I disagree. I think Twitter is shit. I think Twitter is the like who decided to give a fucking speakerphone to the internet? Who thought that was a good idea?
Well, Twitter wasn't the first. Twitter wasn't the first place to do that.
No, but it popularized it, and like it fucking rolled into it really hard. Like
battle royale fighting for the position of CEO. I'd be okay. Let's do that.
Dude, I'd fucking do it. Be like, I feel like I'd have a better chance of becoming a CEO of a company by doing it in a BR. Honestly speaking.
I don't know. Just I feel like
Twitter is shit. I agree.
It'll be very interesting to see what happens with Twitter now that Jack Dorsey, one of the co-founders, is actually gone and no longer really has much in the way of input. He does say in this
nothing. Nothing's gonna change. Maybe. You know why? You think fucking Jack Dorsey had any say in any of the shit that happened? No. You know who actually had the actual say? The fucking chairmans. The board.
Well, he was the chairman of the board too.
He wasn't a part of the board?
Yeah, he was the chairman of the board too while he was CEO. And he is actually still he is staying on the board. He actually goes into that in this letter too, that he's staying on the board until his term ends in May.
But there's like board members. Like just because you wanted to write doesn't mean the rest of your. If you've ever fucking had to work with under a company where you've met the board chairman, stuff like that, like you've met the chairman of the board and you've met the board members, you're gonna understand that there's a whole political fucking like field to navigate there. Like you know how you watch fantasy shows and you see like the king talking to the nobles? It's very similar to that, where you as a peasant, you're walking on fucking eggshells because you know at a glance these motherfuckers could just fucking end your life and your whole entire family.
But John said something I don't think that Jack Dorsey had that much control over what happened at Twitter. I think he wanted it to be something different than it was, and he just couldn't do anything about it.
Listen, like, a lot of people think CEOs are like head honchos of companies, and for the most part, they are if they control the company, as in like there is no board. Like if they are the final say,
like a president and CEO position.
Yeah, like a president and CEO, like you're the founder, president, and CEO. You own the company, all the stock, shit like that. Sure, 100% you can tell everyone to fuck off. But when you get to a company the size of like Twitter, where you have like 500 plus fucking employees, you're going to have a fucking, like, that's what all the bureaucracy is about. And that's how mega corporations just kind of go. Once you have this many people and it becomes top heavy, everything is kind of out of your control. And there's kind of like a norm that they're like, oh yeah, this is how we do things, and it's not going to change for a very long time, especially if it makes them money.
Yeah. Well, Jack Dorsey even talked about this. He talked about it was like, about a year and a half ago. He said that how difficult it is to get anything social media wise to scale properly. Like once you get past a certain user base, it just doesn't scale. You can't have enough employees to manage it all. It just snowballs out of control.
It's really no one's fault. Like this is just the nature of how companies work.
Beast,
It's the nature of the internet. It's the nature of what the internet has become.
It's the nature of growth in general. Like you'll never have like unless it's if it could actually scale, that'd be scary because then Twitter would be Skynet.
Yeah, that would be. People with Twitter opinions or whatever are terrible. I mean, I may not be wrong.
Don't you have like 2 Twitter accounts there?
I have. Well, I mean, the podcast itself has a Twitter account, but we mostly just retweet like stuff from Crunchyroll and other anime pages like that, and then find memes and shit.
Speaking of CEOs and bureaucracy and shit, Bobby Kotick. So.
Oh yes. Yeah, please go ahead.
So did you guys hear about that one time where Bobby Kotick actually threatened a worker that he's gonna murder her for bad mouthing her?
It's the Blizzard guy, right?
Yeah, Bobby Kotick is the CEO of Activision Blizzard.
Seems like a great guy.
Yeah, wonderful person. So let's talk about that for a bit.
So I don't know the full story about this because I honestly don't give a crap about all this. Like, they're still hiring. They literally just did a art contest for World of Warcraft at my school. Like,
Like right now, like they are staging a walkout, and Bobby Kotick said something along the lines of, like, if like there is no change, like if nothing's gonna change, I will resign. Which I mean,
Do it, coward,
doubt.
do
Like,
it.
I mean, doubt it. I doubt it.
Fucking doubt.
Press X to doubt.
Fucking doubt.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like I think one of the things that caught my eye, but like this week, both Phil Spencer, the CEO of like the Sony division, and Doug Bowser, like sort of like made public statements. They are reconsidering working relationship with Activision, which is kind of nuts. I've never seen that happen in this sort of situation, which is
Not gonna happen.
I mean, yeah, like you know, that's the funny thing about it. I mean, Call of Duty just like made the big bunch of money they made off of it, so I guess now it's time to say they're gonna reconsider.
Here's the thing. What they're going to reconsider is they're going to renegotiate terms for how much money they get. They're like, hey, Activision Blizzard, you guys are a PR fucking disaster, so you need to give us a bigger cut if you want us to fucking put you on our platform. That's what they're actually talking. That's what they're going to do. Don't get me wrong. Don't get any of this twisted. They don't give a shit about the culture, all right?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
These CEOs are not faces of these companies. Sure, they're people, but they represent a company. I am very pro-union. I am very anti-corporate.
It's a shame that not a lot of it's a shame that a lot of people are not pro-union for some reason.
Because of propaganda. Well, the reason I can actually tell you why everyone.
Oh, here we go.
People aren't pro-union.
I want to hear that. Yeah.
It's a history of unions basically fighting back against the rich. You know, unions used to actually fucking go and fuck up the foremans, break into the house and fucking break their legs and shit. And the rich people got scared because like, okay, so we can actually get fucked up by these poor people. Well, now because the rich people have been in power for so long, they've become buddies with people who are like policymakers, like congressmen. There's a bunch of congressmen, and even like that, like Joe Biden and stuff, his congressmen that are anti-union, and they've been spitting this anti-union rhetoric for so long because they're like unions are bad. Because there were bad times in unions, and because they are the lawmakers and they have like the media and stuff on their side, they can spin whatever story they want. They make it seem like unions are always a bad, like, oh, you don't want to work in a union. Why would you work in a union? They keep lazy people there, which is true.
Oh, that's what they're trying to say.
Yeah, there's a bunch of fucking propaganda out there to be anti-union. Like,
and to be fair, there have been some
unions
unions out there that have done really shitty stuff to workers too. Over the years.
Yeah, 100%. Like, I mean, that's just how positions of power work. Like, people are gonna filter in that are just not great people. But overall, like, when I look at my union job compared to non-union jobs, like this factory versus my last factory, man, I get paid a lot more money to do a lot easier work. So it's like, and the fact that so many rich congressmen who not only get paid like $150,000 a year to decide to fuck over the American people, they are so anti-union because they have buddies lining their pockets and their interests. Like, it's fucking disgusting.
That's so shitty.
And it's kind of the only way for the American workers to take back, we got to seize the means of productions, right? We got to control everything. I know, like the blood greases the wheels. Anyway, you never want to get me started on fucking union.
So crap. so pretty much like I find the whole Activision Blizzard story fascinating because like it's kind of insane. This is like happening, and how like it impacts so many people at so many different levels. Like obviously, like I feel bad for the workers who had to suffer through that shitty work culture that were there for like the past who knows how many years. And of course, Bobby Kotick has been there for 30 years, but only recently he knows of that. He never knew, of course.
Was he just going around like this, la 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 la, I don't see anything, I don't hear anything?
It's like, and I love it. It's like, so a month ago by now, I don't remember what was the position in the company, but this person, she sent out this letter, this email for all the workers inside the company, like all these allegations that are put against us are lies and it's not true and it's just false, that California is suing us and all of that. Bobby Kotick told her to write that letter, which is incredible. Of course, after he was sort of threw her under the bus for writing that letter, which is again, it's like wonderful. So
yeah, no,
yeah,
it's definitely a case of a shitty
shitty
human
situation.
being. It's a case of a shitty human being caught being shitty human, right?
Yeah,
And he's doing whatever he can to try to save not only his job, but I mean,
his own
at this point,
saving face.
he's not trying to save face. He's
no,
trying
he's
to
not
save.
trying to save
He's trying to
face.
minimize the damage that he's causing the company.
He's doing a
because
great job. He should keep doing it.
He's gonna be offered the golden parachute, right? He's
It's gonna be a
have to
nice
step
severance
down.
package.
A very
it's gonna be
nice
a
severance package.
He's trying to make sure he gets a very nice fucking golden parachute. That's all it
Yeah.
is at this point, and that's just the reality of the situation. Like, these are problems that kind of just come across as like, I'm not surprised that he would say shit like that, like I'm gonna fucking kill you, because you know you're the head honcho of a multi-billion-dollar company. Like,
The shitty thing is, someone actually died. Someone actually committed suicide from this environment. It still kind of blows my mind.
You know, it's just like how everyone should understand. HR does not exist to protect you as a worker. HR exists to protect the company from damages. So, like, this isn't
Very
shit. Like,
accurate.
they're gonna, you go to HR about this stuff. They're not gonna do it out of your best interest. They're doing it to make sure the company doesn't fucking take flack for it. And that's kind of the same situation that happened here, where, you know, this incident happened, and because they were so removed from it, they're like, well, that is fucked. They might think that's fucked up, but their main concern isn't, well, how do we stop this from happening and how we should punish these people involved. Their concern is, well, how do we minimize the impact to the company and the image? Can we just pay these people off to shut the fuck up about it? And like, fucking 99 out of 100 companies are going to do the exact same thing, and it's going to be that, right?
Yeah.
How much money can I pay to sweep this under the rug so it doesn't become a big fucking deal?
Yeah, it's just kind of frustrating, and like and again, we talk about like I talk about how it affects so many different people. Like, hearing comments from people who like play WoW and they're like, I don't feel comfortable playing this game knowing what people went through to make it. I'm like,
yeah, like like the whole fucking McCree being renamed.
Renamed. It's like, I don't know what to say
now.
Everyone's gonna keep calling him McCree.
I honestly don't remember what Jesse Cassidy, right?
Sounds like a porn star.
It does sound like a porn star name.
They renamed him to Cassidy. I remember that. But and they removed like the so they renamed it because the guy who they named McCree after is like, he's part of the problem.
Yeah.
And then they removed like NPCs or something in WoW that
were named after
because the names were really the problem.
Yeah,
it's the memes.
The names were the problem. Yeah, 100%. And it's just so disingenuous, right? Like, that's the most fucked up thing about this situation, is how disingenuous the company is being in trying to rectify this.
It's like they've spent the last however many years this has been going on shooting themselves in the foot with a Glock, and now they're gonna take out a fucking 12 gauge and shoot themselves in the other foot.
I wouldn't say they're shooting themselves in the foot. Like I said, there was an accidental discharge, but they're trying to make sure that, you know, we don't know that it was an accidental discharge.
Yeah.
And they're trying to minimize the impact. And again, they're trying to make money, man. They're not going to restructure shit. 100% the guy's going to have to step down, and he's going to get offered a fucking golden parachute. He might still be on the fucking
board. He might still be on the board. Like,
yeah, 100%.
Like, the moment things might change is if he loses the money, because so far he made the board a lot of money.
Yeah,
let's be honest, the past few decades.
If he doesn't like get offered a position on the board, he'll probably just get a shit ton of stock options and a bunch of cash money and just told to leave.
That's what's gonna happen. Unfortunately, that's exactly what happens to the CEOs of other companies with big scandals.
Unless they commit like an actual major, like if they actually just go out and fucking murder someone on camera.
Yeah, unless they do like a Madoff situation where they rip people off and it's like, well, you can't overturn this.
Or they literally just walk out, film themselves shooting someone in the fucking head.
They'll still get away with it.
I don't know, man.
They'll still get away with it. I have no faith.
No faith.
No faith.
No faith.
No faith.
Can we talk about something a little bit more happy, please?
Just say what's the other thing I wrote down. I don't know about that.
Oh,
do
Lord.
I?
Go for it.
Well, I mean, I have one more thing to talk about that's kind of a silly thing, but
do it, John.
Like,
go,
yeah,
John.
Go for it, John. Like, I want to talk about
because you got me for about another 25 minutes, and I gotta go.
Okay. All right. So I'm gonna speed run through this because it was something I made Lacey, my girlfriend, write this down for me because I was like, we went to a Brazilian steakhouse and it's like $60 a person. Right?
Is it Texas de Brazil?
What? No.
Was it Texas de Brazil? No.
No.
Is it like an all-you-can-eat buffet sort of?
Yes.
Oh, so these are the best. Yeah.
So it's like $60 a person, and it's it's Brazilian steakhouse, so you got like fucking good cuts of steak there, and it's fucking expensive. So I remember the first time we went there to this steakhouse, I remember there was a party of like 15 people, right? And I was like, holy shit, that's a lot of fucking people. These people are gonna drop like $1,000 on fucking dinner. And I was like, well, rich Asians. Like, it doesn't surprise me. In the area and everything, I'm like, yeah, rich Asians.
Crazy rich
Asians.
Not.
Well, because I'm going to be honest, I looked at some of the women and what they're wearing, like their purses and their like jewelry. I'm like, they have the amount of money they have on their person right now is more than what I make in a year. So I was like, hey man, if you guys want to drop $1,000 on one meal, go ahead. Like, that obviously that ain't fucking money. So, I wanted to bring this up because this other time that we went, the last time that we went, a couple weeks ago, another fucking family, Asian family, came in, but they had babies. There was 5 kids, right? Like 5 kids under the age of, I'd say, fucking 4.
Wow.
To a fucking all-you-can-eat steakhouse.
Holy
right?
shit.
And I'm like, okay, first of all, that's like, what, 5 times 60, $300, right? You got $300 you're gonna spend for these kids to be here, and they're not gonna even fucking eat the steak. Like, if they're gonna eat any of the meat, it's gonna be fucking well done stuff, which is like disgusting. Don't fucking eat steak well done. Don't ever do that. And like, for the most part, they're probably gonna ask for like mac and cheese and chicken tendies, And this flashed me back to when me and my girlfriend were at Disney World, where we went to a place that was like $150 per person, right?
Okay.
And there are kids here. Like, obviously it's Disney World. There's going to be kids here, but there's this family of like 8, right? And they had 4 kids. Like 4 children, ages 6 and below. And I'm like, and they're ordering fucking at this place that costs $150 per person. They're getting the goddamn chicken tenders. And it's like, that's a lot of money, man. Why would you bring your kid to eat here? Like, just fucking buy them McDonald's, throw them in the goddamn hotel room.
Yeah.
Like, keep them home. Hire a babysitter.
Stay at home.
The fucking McDonald's.
Stay
at home.
Stay home.
Stay home.
Stay home.
Be nice. Stay home. But like, it's insane
It's
to me
insane.
how
Yeah, I agree.
people not only just throw away money like this, but like, why? Why would you bring a kid here that can't even appreciate being here? Like, I get that, yeah, we're here to, memories for the family. Remember that time me and your dad took you to Disney World and we got to eat at the castle? Like, yeah, that was great. It was $150 per person. So, the food was fucking fantastic. But these kids can't even appreciate it. Like, I don't understand. If the kids can't appreciate it, why would you bring them? You're just wasting money.
I don't get that mentality as well.
Like, they would find entertainment in just staying at home with a babysitter and getting fucking McDonald's.
Yeah.
To be honest. And it just drives me not insane, but it's just like, I go, why? Why? I don't understand.
The question is why. I mean, like, some people, I guess, have that extra income and they can.
Yeah,
like, they
if you got money, you want to piss away your money, go right ahead, man. We piss away money doing random crap all the time, right?
This fucking Akimba figure just arrived after a year, and
show it on the stream. Show it.
Oh my god!
I really hope whatever thing we got going on here doesn't make it disappear.
I know, but yeah, it's just, I don't know if I would spend $600 to let my kid go to fucking Disney World and eat freaking chicken tenders.
Hmm.
Like, what?
I don't get it either. And the crazy thing is, you talk about expensive restaurants, right? Like, some of these restaurants are not really for kids that they're taking kids to. Like, if it's a steakhouse or whatever kind of restaurant that's made for like couples or adults, they take their there you go. It's echidna.
How much did you pay for that?
I want to say
Too
exactly.
much. How long did you have to wait for it?
I had to wait like a year.
The biggest complaint is like these kids can't appreciate these things.
Why that's the biggest thing. It's a waste of money because they're gonna get whatever the least common denominator type thing is on the menu because it's the only thing they know that they like chicken tenders, chicken nuggets, spaghetti, whatever, something that's made for kids, and you're spending a shit ton of money for stuff that they're never gonna remember. Like 10 years later, they're not gonna remember the chicken nuggets they had at the castle at Disney at Magic Kingdom.
That's why I ask, who is it really for at that point?
That's a great question because you can't even say it's for the parents that are trying to live vicariously through their kids because the kids don't even appreciate it.
Yeah. I don't like.
Maybe it's not even that complicated. Maybe it's for the parents. Just I'm hanging out with my kids and that's good enough. Maybe that's what some parents.
Maybe that is. You know, I get it. But
maybe that's it.
I don't know, man. Like,
I wouldn't do it.
Maybe,
like, if I want to spend good time with my kids, I'd rather do something more. It sounds so condescending, but
if I ever have kids, like up until the age of like they're 7, 8, 9, 10, to the point where I know they're not gonna cry at some random shit at a restaurant because they didn't get their way. They're McDonald's. That's all they're gonna eat if they go out.
How very southern of you, Alex.
Hey, it's cheap. It's cheap and it will shut them up.
But yeah, that's like, I don't know, like, because like to me, my kid, as a kid, maybe it's because I grew up poor. Maybe that's why I feel like the greatest moments I had sharing with my parents was just being with them and doing stuff.
Yeah,
like it didn't matter how much it cost because you're a kid. Kids don't know how much things cost. They can't appreciate that.
That's
You know, they might be able to look back on it when they're older and appreciate it, sure, but wouldn't you rather spend the money when they're older when they can appreciate it on them? Like, doesn't that make more sense?
It's like when I was growing up, even as a small kid, some of the best memories I have with my father is him taking me to baseball games.
Yeah.
Like, I remember that shit, and I appreciated it at the time because it really got me into baseball, and I appreciate it now because I'm still a baseball fan because of that shit.
You're gonna make me a baseball fan once I come to the
States? If you come to the U.S., especially if you come to Otakon next year, the Nationals will be in town in D.C. while we're there. I will take you to a baseball game.
For like, I'll come just for like to give it a shot.
I mean,
just
they
for
will
posterity's sake. Like
they will
shut Alex up. Like,
exactly.
They will be playing the Mets.
Real American baseball.
They will be playing the Mets that the 3 days after the convention. So I really wish we could get you a better team for them to play. The Mets suck. The New York Mets suck.
R.I.P. Yeah, I know. Being a Mets fan is like the worst.
If you
like
listen,
being a Seahawks fan, to be honest.
If you're watching this and you're a Mets fan, I'm sorry, but your team has sucked for 25 years. I don't care.
Wow,
it's fucking savage, man. This is why we get canceled.
Yep.
That's not like it's New York Yankee fans. New York Yankee fans are fucking rabid.
Oh, yeah. Here we fucking go. You're just burning all the bridges we have.
Burn every single bridge we own, man.
All right, Natai, I know you want to talk about it, so take us out with this, man.
Just a little bit. No spoilers.
Yeah, just a little bit, man.
I watched 3 episodes of the Netflix Cowboy Bebop, and it's not great.
Listen,
to say the least.
All right, so do you guys remember that teaser trailer that I posted in the chat? Did you guys watch that?
The Lost Sessions?
Yes, I watched it.
That was somewhat
the
better
one where it's like that's nutbags, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That sums up Bebop the show.
I honestly would have here's the thing. I'd prefer the show was more like it because it would have been less boring. That's the worst thing about it.
Youch, bro.
Wow. So to be fair, you've only watched the first 3 episodes, right?
And I sort of had my fill, but and I know some stuff that comes later is even worse. So I was like, maybe I'd want to maybe this is my time to just bail out. but like I do want to talk about it more because here's the thing. So like, yeah, I do like the original show, but I walked into this like being okay. I'm gonna give it a shot. I'm sure it'll be fine. And then the first episode started. I'm like, oh, so we're doing bits from the movies now. Okay. Yeah. And it's not good. It's not good. And so like I'm not gonna spoil stuff, but let's just say like they pull some like a section from the Knocking on Heaven's Door movie.
So John and I have been watching it. Well, I think John, are you finished watching it or no?
Oh yeah, and marathon.
Okay,
wait. So Alex, how much have you watched?
I've only watched the first 2 episodes currently, but I'm gonna watch like probably like the next 4 or 5 tonight, and then tomorrow night probably the rest of it. But
so the first episode is just a good example of things that I just really don't like about what they're doing. Because it's like the first red flag for me was like putting the first episode and it's an hour long. Like, wait a minute. Okay, sure. And then it's like it's just a list of things that I'm like, I don't know, man. Like I wanna like it, but like to be fair, a lot of people give shit to what's his name? John Cho. I think it's fine. I don't have much issues with him. Like I think it's fine. I like his like sort of interaction with Jet, the guy who plays him, is also like pretty good. They have a shitty script to work with, but I like their interactions. They're like fine.
The chemistry is good.
Yeah, the chemistry is good, but like the first episode is pretty much like sort of taking the plot line from the first episode of the show and just stretches it out with a lot of filler.
Yeah,
and like it's like I love that first episode, and they go for some of the same beats, but they don't work because they sort of miss the point of some of them. Like, remember that one time in the first episode when Spike talks to Katarina, and it's very playful, you know, it's just goofing around and talking to her, and they sort of allude to something that happened to him in the past, but it's very subtle about it. It doesn't go like any deeper. Of course, it's Netflix, and of course, this is the adaptation we got. He's like 3 times, you remind me of someone, looks to the air, and it just flashes back to his past. And it's like, I don't know.
Yeah, man. I don't know. Seems very anime to me.
Well, look at the fucking show. It's like it's very mature about it. It's like it doesn't insult you with it, right?
Ida's here. He says nut.
Pretty much. Nut. Also, I don't know what you think. I know how John feels. I don't know how you feel about it, Alex. But like, so Faye shows up in the first episode, right?
Yeah. I
don't use that word often, but that was very cringy. I was having a hard time when she was on screen.
I'll be honest, so far I have very mixed feelings about it. I don't think it's outright like awful like a lot of people are saying. My biggest issue with some of the criticisms that people were lobbing at this, and I've heard multiple people say this, and they're objectively wrong when they say this, when they say that it's not like the anime. Well, no fucking shit, it's not like the anime. You know why? Because it's a fucking live action show.
I don't give a shit about other people's criticism about the show. I'm talking about the show now, right? Like, and again, and you're totally correct. It's fine. It doesn't need to be the anime. It needs to be something else. But the weird thing for me is how they talk about, like, they didn't want to fuck this up because it's Cowboy Bebop. Give this show the budget it deserves. There's like, they totally didn't like give this like the budget and the time to make this like a great thing. Like I was surprised there was like no chase in space or something like that. Like it was like the fight scenes were very. The fight scenes felt kind of like weak. The editing, the action was kind of weak, and it's like, oh, it's just a shootout in a parking lot, and it's like, it's just bad. It's not great. It's not great. There's this one shot of Faye like walking towards the camera, shooting her gun. It looks bad. It looks bad. It doesn't look good. And it's like, this is the show that you didn't want to fuck up. How come like Netflix didn't like bring in? Because Netflix has the money for this. They can give this a big budget and like a visionary, like someone behind the camera to just like go full on and just
no. They spent all the money getting Yoko Kanno on the soundtrack.
Probably.
Which, by the way, Yoko Kanno. It's like I love Yoko Kanno's soundtrack, but I don't know who is editing the soundtrack. But goddamn, like they like nah. It's like they just like pull random bits and pieces of music and play in the background. It's just like it doesn't complement the show that well.
Like it doesn't. They literally only use Tank, and then they use Greenbird.
They also use the opening music from the movie Ask DNA in one of the scenes, which is a really fun and upbeat music, and I love that track. But when did they use it? When it's just Spike and Jet sitting talking. It's like, who the fuck is making these decisions to edit this music?
So
like that. It's like,
it sounds like what you're saying is, and I might agree with you if this is what you're saying, that the music itself is good, just the sound and music editing isn't.
Like, it's just like when it's the music from the original show, yeah, because it is a terrific music. Like, of course, I love it. But whoever is like choosing to edit it and piece it together throughout, because one of the things people like talk on and on about when they talk about the original show about is how collaborative effort it was, of like Watanabe creating the scenes and then showing them to Yoko Kanno, and she creates the music. Then he likes something about it, so he changes the scene according to that, which is really cool. And you feel that throughout the show. Like a really good like description of Cowboy Bebop is like you can feel like the band is just off to the corner playing the music for the show, and that's great. And you lose all of that in this new adaptation because it doesn't feel like they work together to complement each other, both the visuals and the music. It's like,
yeah,
you're kind of missing the point.
That. I can see that, at least from what I've seen so far. Yeah.
I'm not going to give any of my opinion about Bebop because spoiler cast.
Yes.
One last thing, then. This show hates Julia, and that hurts me on a personal level.
Oh, dude. I want to finish the show. Like,
I'll give it a shot for John. I'll keep going. Like, I'll try.
Ida says the anime characters were calm, cool, mysterious. The live action was, according to the original creator, wanted to see them with more emotion. Unfortunately, the actors were kind of cringe. See, people keep saying that, and I haven't seen anything. I don't think the thing is overall cringe. Like, I genuinely think.
See, you know why? Because you haven't met Ed yet.
True.
When does it show up?
But I haven't.
Last episode.
I haven't seen anything yet that makes me think the entire production is 100% cringe.
Okay.
No, I don't say the entire thing is cringe.
I have so much to say about it. I really want to fucking talk about it, but again, we gotta wait. We don't have enough time.
Yeah, we don't. I actually do have to go very soon. But
my only advice is that, honestly, if you're gonna finish it knowing your opinions of it right now are not gonna change.
So I have a feeling that's why I stopped at episode 3. But yeah, I'll keep going.
You know what? I'm not gonna lie, your opinion of it's gonna drop even more by the time you get to the end of it. Like, I have so much to say about it.
Vicious.
But oh god. But yeah, John, I don't know if Natai will be joining us, but John and I will 100% be recording a spoiler cast for the live action Cowboy Bebop later this week. Not tomorrow, Wednesday.
I'll do my best. Wednesday's a special day for me. I'm sorry, but
I know. It's December 1st. It's JoJo Part 6 is dropping.
Yeah. There are better shows out there to be watching.
Yeah. But yeah, we are going to be doing that, and I think our plan is to have that actually come out next Monday, which will be the 6th of December. Yeah.
I mean, it was kind of just listen. When the Bebop live action was announced, I rolled my fucking eyes because I can count on no fingers how many live action adaptations of animes I like. All right,
Edge of Tomorrow.
Yeah.
Of animes.
Okay, fair enough, because that is an adaptation of a novel. So,
like, I first of all, I haven't read the source material, so my opinion of it could very much change. If I go read the source material, it could have been way better. Like, I don't know. So, like, if I know the source, or at least the anime, and I've seen the live action, I have 0 that I can count that I actually thought was good. Not to say that I didn't enjoy it. Like, I did enjoy the live action Death Note because it was just so bad.
You enjoy it in the same way you enjoy The Room.
Yeah, because it's bad. It's so bad that it's hilarious and entertaining. And and then the teaser dropped for Bebop, and I was just like, oh no. Oh god, no.
Oh no.
And I have so much to say about it, and I'm gonna save it. I have to save it.
Yeah, you do.
I can't ruin the surprise.
I'm sure it'll be worth it.
I'm telling you, man.
There is one other live action adaptation I think that I genuinely enjoyed, and that was Alita Battle Angel. I genuinely enjoyed that. But that's just me.
Oh, Ida, how dare you fucking say that to me? Ghost in the Shell was not a great live action adaptation.
Oh boy, here we go.
Here we go, boys.
Well, speaking of Ghost in the Shell, though, later in December we do have a Ghost in the Shell movie review coming out. So
yeah,
the good one.
The original 1995 Ghost in the Shell movie. But
it's gonna be great.
I know those are fighting words when you say the live-action Ghost in the Shell movie was good around John.
Those are fighting words, bro.
Fighting words.
Listen, I am one day gonna not be lazy and do my fucking 20-page dissertation about why these are bad.
I love it.
Okay, he said. To be fair, he did say good, not terrible or great.
I don't even think it was good, bro. It wasn't even passable in my opinion, mainly because of how good the source was. However,
true.
See, that's what I want to. I'm looking at Bebop through the eyes of like adaptation versus standalone. Ghost in the Shell, the remake with ScarJo, standalone. You're right. It wasn't actually terrible, but that's like I could say that about a lot of adaptations because obviously, like it has its own shortcomings and its own problems that it needs to solve uniquely, especially when it's being released for a Western audience. And I'll probably dive more into it when I talk about Bebop. But yeah, like 100% I agree. As a standalone, it's actually not terrible. However, as an adaptation, pretty bad.
That's because that's what people say to me. Like, because I absolutely hate the anime Rascal Does Not Dream of Bunny Girl Senpai, mostly because it is a shameless ripoff of the Monogatari series.
Monogatari light.
Yeah, it is.
I told you guys that
it's Monogatari. It's what stupid people think Monogatari is. It is Monogatari for stupid people. I'm not even going to apologize for that analogy. It's exactly what it is. But someone asked me one time, it's like, well, what would you think about it if Monogatari didn't exist? And I thought about it, and I'd say it'd probably be a middle of the road, like seasonal type of anime, in my opinion, like a 6, maybe a 7. Not great.
Mainly because just because it has the same setting as Monogatari, the thing that sets Monogatari apart is how it does its storytelling, right?
Yeah, it's
the
style.
Execution of how it does the story and like all the nuances to it.
Yeah, the cinematography, the style,
there's a lot more to these shows than just like because
they
that's
talk
one thing
funny.
yeah.
Her funny man talk funny.
Oh gosh, Ida, it's seen the tragic Tokyo Ghoul live act. Never.
Whoa.
Yeah, the Tokyo Ghoul live action movie. No, never.
We were at Anime Expo where they premiered that, and the line was like, "What? We had to wait 4 hours or something for it."
Even Show who loves Tokyo Ghoul was like, "Nah, fam, I'll pass."
Nah. I was not gonna fucking wait 4 hours to watch the live action Tokyo Ghoul. Because again, like I said, every live action adaptation wise, I've always hated every single one I've seen.
That's why when we first started this and we answered the question from one of our followers, it's like the thing you need to do when you do a live action adaptation, choose something that's grounded in reality. Don't choose something fantastical. Don't choose something that's highly stylized. Choose something that's grounded. That will probably make for a good live action adaptation.
Yeah, like Your Lie in April or like dramas basically, right?
Yeah, Anohana.
Rom-coms, drama. Yeah. Yeah.
Like I don't know. I do
think about that one. Yeah.
I do think like the anime aesthetic like type of storytelling is possible live action, and again I'll point towards The Matrix. It just like I know it's a big but it's a matter of like putting the budget and the creative talent behind it to like bring a vision to life, and it can be done.
Yeah,
I do think it can be done even with just go all out. Don't like cheap out on this shit.
The funny thing is, Natai, like we've talked about this a little bit on the podcast in the past. Like the reverse is so much easier, turning something that's live action into anime. Like you can do.
Look at Star Wars Visions.
Look at Star Wars Visions. That was really good.
You bring like these creative people like the time and I'm guessing the money to do what they do best, and you just let them go at it and. Shocking! It turned out pretty good.
Yeah.
Okay, but you got to understand, like, again, I love how I always play devil's advocate, right?
No, go for it.
I always.
I'm talking about. It sounds very naive when I say it.
You got about 5 minutes to play devil's advocate, and then I gotta go.
Right. Here's the thing, right? To shut it up once and for all. To do a live adaptation of an anime properly is going to require a huge budget. That huge budget will not fucking exist because, one, anime movies don't bring in that much fucking money, right? there are very rarely a lot of anime movies that make a lot of money. Like you can name the top 10. Look at how much it costs. How
Demon
much they
Slayer made a lot of fucking money.
Yeah, but
the Demon Slayer movie made a lot of money while it was in theaters because it was fucking during COVID and no one could go see it.
It still makes a lot of money though. Like there is interest in that fucking brand.
See,
so
but here's
the money's
thing.
there.
I'm not talking about anime movies. I'm talking about live action.
Live action, yeah.
You got to look, because again, all about market research. As it turns out, anime movies already make good money. So why would you want to change that to live action, right? And especially when you look at how much live action money brings in, not a lot. No one's gonna want to do it. That's why. That's the real reason. Like, there's no way that they're gonna advocate for like a Hollywood, like unless some crazy ass fucking producer was like, you know what, I want to fucking do this in America.
Yeah,
they're gonna pay the money for it. Right?
To be fucking clear, I'm not one of these like people who are like, I want this in live action. I have no real like interest in like bringing a lot of shows to live actions. It's like a cool idea, but I'm not starving for live action anime adaptations.
I will say there are examples out there of Japanese produced live action adaptations that I do like. Even though it's not cool to say this anymore, I really like the live action productions of Rurouni Kenshin. Like, I know it's not cool to say that anymore because the guy who made it is a fucking pedophile, but
the movie itself is good.
The movies themselves were really well done.
I mean, the anime movies themselves were even better, but
but it is an example of like a Japanese produced live action that I actually really enjoyed.
Did Tama live action movie any good? I remember that happened like a few years ago.
I didn't watch it.
The Gintama fan didn't even watch it.
Listen, I don't like live action adaptations of anime because they never gonna have enough budget, and if they want to make it good, they'll just make an anime anyway. It makes more money. We see market research tells us the anime will make more money.
Beta test this shit.
It will cost less and it will make more money.
Knees. Samurai Deeper Kyo would make a decent live action. I mean, yeah, it's been a long time since I've watched that, but maybe. Alex Senpai looks different than what I expected. I hope that's a good thing.
He expected a gremlin.
If you expected an actual like femboy fox, I'm very sorry to disappoint you. But I gotta get out of here because I gotta start work very soon. So I am gonna wrap it up there. Do you guys have anything you want to say before I do the outro?
No.
Thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching. I don't know if we're gonna do this all the time because I know starting next semester, John, your class schedule will kind of preclude you ever recording on a Monday.
Yeah. Everyone should tune in on a Sunday.
Yeah. I mean, I we'll talk about this after the fact, but yeah. But yeah, thank you all out there for dropping in to listen to it. Check the description below to find links to Anime Club After Dark on Twitch, on social media, and on Discord. Check out our merch store and our affiliate links as well. Any purchases you make there do really, really help us out. With that, I have been your host, Alex, and I will see you next time. Say goodnight, guys.
Good night, everybody.
Bye.
You even see my hand? Look. Oh.
Yeah, kitty. You can't see my hand either. Shinobu is too powerful. Shinobu is far.